he also was really drawn to touchy subjects. So it's like a brutal murder. Yeah,
he got pleasure in being dangerous.
Yeah, how many anal rape jokes did we hear? You know, how many?
Including, I must bring it up. The Swedish German.
That became
Andy Richter, the Swedish German.
That became a thing. Yeah, and actually, Conan and I were talking about this yesterday.
I had forgotten about this, and of course, you said that you sometimes see it online. And I'm like, okay, well, let's hear about that because you know me, I'm in the nose cone of the rocket.
Right.
I'm at the top of the pyramid.
Right. Your ivory tower. There's a lot of clouds underneath your window.
I'm up there counting my gold coins. I can't be concerned with what you're doing down in the moat.
No, people. I mean, every weekly, someone will just arbitrarily just call me a Swedish German. And it was
explain what that means.
I know. Well, I mean, I know they're Norm fans because Norm would do, and Norm was also like kind of a traditionalist. So he did the, talk to the talk show host, but then there's this guy over here, this one. Let's make fun of him.
Yeah.
And a lot of his jokes, he was drawn to the things that you're not supposed to say. So a lot of his jokes were about being queer, gay porno, this fellow over here, he enjoys the gay porno. And that became a thing with me. And at one point, he was talking about your ethnicity, you're Irish, I'm Scottish, what are you? And I said, I'm Swedish German. And he, for some reason, was like, really? And I was like, yeah, well, why would I make that up?
I'm Scottish. I'm a Scot. You're Irish.
Yes.
What are you?
Swedish German.
Swedish German? Are you really?
Yeah, really. Why would I lie about that? It's not funny.
It's very odd, 'cause
it's a very strange lie. I put one over on those people. Yeah.
Swedish German. But that then later became a euphemism for gay. Yeah. The old prospector comes to town and wants a prostitute, but no, there's no prostitutes. There's just Andy Richter, the Swedish German.
And I've been in that mine for a hell of a long time, and I'm only flesh and blood. I need a woman. Well, the bartender says, hell, there ain't no women in this town. If you want to do any of that business, all we got is Andy Richter, the Swedish German.
It's outrageous because it's Norm. It's outrageous because it's on a talk show.
And it's you.
And it's me.
Yeah.
But and I think that some people think that I was somehow, and somebody else, a friend of mine pointed out, there's nothing, you can't do anything with that.
Right.
There's nothing to do with that when Norm MacDonald says, this fellow over here, and it would go to hey, Conan, have you met his wife?
But then you did say, at least I had my dignity, and says, you were raped.
Yeah, he goes to rape,
Yeah.
And
my God.
Got to be all secret. Nobody. I say nobody can know about this. Bartender says, well, 4 people know about it. How do you figure that? He says, I'll know about it. He says, you'll know about it. Andy Richter, the Swedish German, will know about it. And the fella that has to hold down Andy will know about it.
At least you left me my dignity.
Yeah.
I like the way that story ended.
Yeah,
that was a nice.
You weren't gay.
Right. No, but that's not beside the point.
You were raped.
No, it's more. It's more that I wasn't prostituting myself.
And I said, but I never was that crazy about that because I would think, I'm sitting there and we're in a studio and we're laughing about it now. And it is the point of that joke is this fella's a queer.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very old-fashioned retrograde joke that we just don't do anymore.
Right.
And some jokes that we don't do anymore, we don't do them anymore because they shouldn't be done.
Right.
And we shouldn't have been doing them in the first place. So I was always thinking about the gay people that work on the Conan O'Brien show. Yeah. How do I look them in the face after being there and hardy-harring about the punchline being that I'm a gay fella? And and we're thinking about the people in my family who are gay. If they're going to watch that, how are they going to think when the real bottom line, what's funny about that is that I was supposedly a homosexual. And that I was, which to me, I always was it's like saying, this fellow over here, he doesn't want anybody to know it, but he's a secret Jew. his kitchen's full of matzahs. You know, it's like you would go like, what are you talking about? You know, what is that? How is that funny?
My kitchen's full of matzahs.
I know, but you're not a secret. But you know what I mean? It made me uncomfortable, not because I was afraid that people would think I was gay, because if I was gay, everybody would know that I was gay. It made me uncomfortable because there were people out there in the audience whom I love and care about, who would be left thinking like, what's so terrible about me that I am a joke, that I'm a punchline, you know, that how I am and who I am is a punchline to a joke. But that was when you're the kind of comic that Norm is, and you are going after any uncomfortable subject, and you're like, oh, let me get in there and you know, roam around and really get my elbows.
Right.
You know, it's gonna be ugly sometimes.
Yeah, and
it's gonna be uncomfortable.
Yes.
He also really enjoyed being around other comedians. Like, that's where he seemed to really come alive. I mean, he was a stand-up, but he also really liked being on in a you know, a situation with other comedians. And I've had people say to me, like, did it bother you? Because he, you know, like I said, I would be the butt of the joke sometime. And I would say, like, no, that's him. That's like practically like him showing love to me.
Yeah.
Like, he would not insult me if he thought that I, you know, was somehow inferior.
It's like being insulted by Rickles.
Yeah. It's like he's inviting me to play when he's making fun of me. Will Ferrell is definitely one.
Really happy to see you, Will.
So good to see you. So good to see everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like when my friends are on. Like, I like when Andy Daly's on.
Oh, shit, mother...
Will Arnett's a lot of fun.
You did a lot to promote Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including you retweeted a picture of Miley Cyrus's underwear, wearing her underwear. Well, I think we have the photo here.
Yeah, she tweeted that out, and I figured, you know, if you retweet a person's crotch, maybe it'll go viral.
Right. So just because...
But like in historical terms on the Conan show, Scott Thompson was a wonderful guest. He used to come on all the older great. She hasn't been on in ages, though. Everybody, it's my little sister Stacy.
So cute.
Yeah.
Hi there, Stacy. It's really great to see you again.
Thanks a lot, Conan. It's awesome to see you again.
Wait, what? What was wait?
This has been Wait What?
But what's interesting was at my Comedy Central roast that John Stamos was the roast master, and all of the comedians, and that's where beloved Norm MacDonald did his very memorable non-roasty tribute of doing.
No, he was reading joke from a joke book.
He said, "Saget, I'm going to do jokes from the '40s." And I went, I don't know. I said, say fuck once. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make fun of you. You're my friend. And I went, I got roasted on Comedy Central. I'm going to go all over the place because I can't. I don't know what else to do. This is me just saying I love Norm. When I got roasted, I talked to him a week before the roast, and he called me and he said, Saget, I can't, this is a bad impression. I can't help but do it, though. Saget, I can't say mean things about you. You're my friend. I don't even want to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's you. And so at the roast, he called me a week out, said, I'm just going to read jokes from a 40s joke book. And I said, Norm, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you know what you're doing, but you got to curse. I don't want to do that. I said, well, if just throw in an arbitrary fuck now and then. Nah, I'm not going to do that. And then you get to the roast, and okay, so what you see usually with the extended cut, which is not what it is. It's just everything about Norm is the big lie.
Bob, you have a lot of well-wishers here tonight, and a lot of them would like to throw you down one, a well. They want to murder you in a well. Seems a little harsh, but apparently they want to murder you in a well. It says here on this card.
There's a 20-minute version. There's 20 minutes of footage where the people that were there know what happened in the room. Half of them did and half of them didn't because they didn't know what was going on because they didn't get it. But he was just taking the shot at doing, and people are like, this was the most brilliant thing, and it was. But a great stand-up, and Norm was one of the greatest ever, knows that they're not going to, bombing is not, doesn't matter. And that's what was fearless and beautiful about him, because bombing is just part of the art, part of the performance of it. And if you can offend people and get laughs, then you're in some kind of real special ethos.
No, I think that Bob should join the Ku Klux Klan. And that's not because he's racist. He's not racist. It's just that he'd look a lot better with a hood over his head on account of his face.
He was doing that by reading these jokes, and then there were about 8 minutes that it was quiet, and that made you don't see the comedians laughing harder, but all of my friends. That's the idea of that roast was as horrible as some of the things that were said because it's a roast, and it was a different time, but. Norm, of course, chose the path of dignity, and did jokes, and we were laughing on the phone the week before that he would hold the cards up to his head and do Johnny, to the face like a cauliflower.
No, but Bob has a beautiful face like a flower. Yeah, cauliflower. No offense, but your face looks like a cauliflower.
But we were doing all that stuff because he idolized Johnny, as all of us did. And so they cut out the part that was bombing, and but it did. I would have loved to have seen the whole damn thing. I think the roast should have just been a bunch of people doing a bunch of horrible dick jokes and wow, some really wrong stuff on there, right? But it was funny for a lot of people. It's really split how you look at stuff from years ago, and people know what funny is. And Norm did the most brilliant thing, and I was so excited when he said, "I said you got a fucking dog face," and that if you look at the thing, I don't like looking at myself, and who does? But I like looking at me. But when he said that, that's when I was like, "Yeah, come on, start cursing, just throw in arbitrary curses," because at that point he was digging out of a hole. That's what he was doing, but.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I wasn't wrong. Get apart by you.
How fucking brilliant. Because it was so anti-roast. Because he didn't want to roast his friend. And he also didn't want to do a roast. So there's, it was a good toss-up whether he was doing it because he didn't want to hurt his friend, and also he didn't want to do a roast. He didn't love the form. He didn't mind listening to the old ones, but he wasn't equipped mentally or care enough to make fun of someone. It just, it seemed like okay, that's the joke. Making fun of somebody. Oh, great format. So, of course, he's reading the sports section while the other comedians are doing their stuff, and it's just, it's brilliance. It's an Andy Kaufman type thing, or anybody who knows what comedy is and doing some kind of, it's just Norm. It's just Norm. It's what he found funny.
Bob Saget directed Norm MacDonald's movie Dirty Work. Yeah. A move that transformed Norm MacDonald into a star, Buck's employee.
And then at the end, And I thought about, do I play it on here right now? And the answer is no. You can watch it. You can see it. I mean, at the end of the thing, he got emotional, and he doesn't mean to do it. He doesn't know what he's going to say, and he doesn't do it that often.
Bob, honestly, has never had an unkind word for anybody, and I love him, and I hope everybody else does, so I just want to say that. Thank you.
He told me, he loved me, and he told me publicly, and I loved him, and I love him.
He had I think, best word choice of maybe any comedian I've ever seen. Yeah. He intentionally mispronounces words.
Because the biggest show right now in the planet is Kate and Ashley plus what? John and Kate.
Spit all over me. That's all right.
John and Kate plus 8.
You did it. You did it. Yeah.
When he knows how to say TV. He says it's the TV.
What are you doing now?
I just saw on the TV my hair.
Okay. All right.
He came on our show, I think it was his first appearance, and he was talking about a Doberman, and he said it's a Doberman. And he knows.
When I was a kid, the toughest dog was a Doberman dog. You ever see them? They're a tough. Oh, man, they'll rip your throat out, them dogs. Just like a pit.
But he's constantly screwing with you on every level.
Right.
But his word choice is, he was like Mark Twain. He had this folksy, completely out of time. I mean, I don't know if he was born 300 years too late or 300 years too early, but he's talking in a way, no one speaks like that. And you really appreciate the way he says things and his timing.
He talks like a 1930s Canadian dock worker.
Yeah.
But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. This is back in the old days.
Sure, yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent, yeah.
It's funny because the way I experienced him, as you did, Dave, was, really on the talk show format. And later on, when I would look at the clips of him on my show, that I would think, I don't even know that I was there just laughing, but I was in no way, he's totally self-fueled. Yes, it's nice when you hear the audience there, but he's also, when I look at his appearances that he did with me, I think, I didn't need to be there. Right. I mean, I'm glad I was there. I'm selfishly glad I was there, but he's talking a lot about mortality. He's talking a lot about death, and obviously now that people, comics talk about that all the time. His face, his eyes, and his eyebrows. I always said there's something almost like a jack-o'-lantern. He's got such a great, his expressions when he's talking about after someone's completed the act, when he becomes, what am I going to do now? I'm going to go out and have a cheese sandwich. He's such a terrific performer. I mean, he's really just got this.
I got a wife.
You got a wife?
I just got married because I thought, go through that charade, keep appearances up.
Oh, yeah. That's the kind of thing you'd tell if this were a memo.
Yeah. And he's telling the whole story like a great 1920s silent film comic. He also had an infinite collection of old stories, I think probably from, rural Canada or traveling salesman stories. And I would be delighted because, he'd come out and I'd be laughing. It was the only person I could say this about. I'd be laughing before he did anything. He'd come out from behind the curtain and he's got those cheeks and those eyes. And I've looked at the tape. I'm just laughing. He hasn't done anything yet.
I'm from a little town. It's called Monkland, and it's only 108 people.
108. That's small.
It's country. It's really rural. And but man, I'll tell you, there's lots of funny stories from there.
Well, I'm sorry we don't have time. Thank you very much for coming, Norm. It was good having you here. It was Norm MacDonald. Good night, everybody.
Because farm people,
there are funny stories from this town.
Yeah, because farm people, they all seem to be, there all seems to be a funny story. I remember one time.
There better be, Norm.
And then Norm, how are you? He's like, bought a farm. Yeah. And I know immediately this is complete bullshit. And I'd say, well, the whole thing is a complete waste of everyone's time, and it's joyous.
Right.
Because
he's reveling in it.
He's reveling in every second of it. my experience was so chaotic. You know, I thought this guy is Evel Knievel. He's going to jump Snake River Canyon. He doesn't care. But he put a ton of work into what he was doing and worked it out a lot of the time. So I don't know what that process was, but I mean, this really impressed me with how self-contained it is.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over if we never got it, you could.
All I've ever heard about Norm is that I think he was the most widely read comedian. Very widely read, highly intelligent. I think a great, great mathematician. I mean, things that you would never think. He was talented in all these areas. And choosing, what's my diction? What's my word going to be? What's the right word here? What's it exactly going to be? So you get this, because he seems reckless, but he's also ruthlessly planned everything out and thought it through. And they don't seem to go together, but with him, they do.
Yeah.
He anchors the Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he has recently quit the nasty habit of smoking. Norm MacDonald. Norm! Now, you're a young iconoclast, Norm. You know, the kids, they get you.
What? I was going to wear a suit, and
I don't need to. I like this whole D.B. Cooper look for you, man. This is... Now,
is he the guy that jumped out of the plane?
No. He's married to Alice Cooper. Now, the thing remember you wrote for my first talk show?
Yeah, you gave me my first
And I used to come in the room, and you and Drake Sather had no lights on. It was like some fucking Anton LaVey Satan cult in there. And you guys used to turn out the sickest jokes ever. And everybody was always smoking. Then I see you on Saturday Night Live during the opening credits. And one of the things I like about you is you're completely unfiltered on that show. You'll say anything. And I saw in the picture you had a cigarette in your mouth. I thought, this guy just doesn't give a shit. So I asked you to come on. I find out you pussed out on me and quit smoking. What is that all about?
No, because it's bad for you. They have these fucking things on the side. You have to read the fine print where it says, it's bad.
Now, when did you first start smoking?
I started smoking when I was a kid, like when I was, I think I was like 14, and I thought, I'll look really cool, like if I start smoking, because I didn't get along with anybody. So I started smoking. Wouldn't you know it, I did look cool. All of a sudden, all these broads like me and everything. Not broads, but ladies, girls, women. And, it was hard though, man, because I was guilty about it all the time I smoked, because I always thought, I always knew it was bad for me, Like even though some guys will say that it's good because their uncle lived long or something and he smoked, and they'll go, hey, what about, that old guy, Bert Mustin, what about that guy, And then he just because he lived long, that doesn't mean anything, right? That's just one guy. You can't. Just because Bert Mustin lived long, you're all of a sudden...
You did your master's thesis on this, didn't you? Now, did people bother you a lot when you're smoking? Were people pissed off when...
Yeah, people don't like when you smoke, They're bothered, like... I gotta admit, though, secondhand smoke is bad. Like, I don't like... When I smoked, I didn't like secondhand smoke. Yeah. I like that first-hand smoke, because you get to suck it right out of the cigarette, And the second hand, any fucking thing that's already been ingested by someone is not as good, You know what I mean? Like a pork sandwich is delicious, but after a digested pork sandwich, that's fucking shit.
You can't fight that logic, Norman. You cannot? Do you think advertising brings kids to smoking? There's a lot of fight with the Joe Camel thing. Do you think they really?
Yeah, definitely they got it. Because the thing is this, the advertisers, they got to go after kids because they're not going to get adults. Like, there's not going to be a 50-year-old guy going, hey, I should start smoking. That goddamn camel. Look at him. They got to get little children.
Joe Camel.
Yeah.
That's a frightening-looking beast.
He looks like a cock. I read it. Yeah. I didn't make this up.
And I know you don't mind first-hand cock, but...
You don't know that. Don't say that. I know how this stuff happens, man. Because a buddy of mine worked on Saturday Night Live, and he said he was a fag once as a joke. And then he said everybody comes up to him and saying, "Are you a fag?" Gay man, I mean.
Show about smoking. They thought you meant the British word for cigarette. All right.
Exactly. Can I bum a fag? That's what they say in England.
Where else? All right.
The thing about Joe Camel looking like a cock, Dennis.
Oh, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Thanks for bringing me back.
This is what I've noticed. He doesn't even look like a fucking camel. He looks so much like a cock. Because you know how it's usually subliminal?
Yeah.
Where you have to find the cock, right? This character, you have to find the goddamn camel.
Yeah, believe me, when you only get 2 humps out of a cock, it's not worth smoking. All right, now, line 2, we got a phone call for you. Although I can't believe they'd still be on the line after this departure. Line 2, we've got Beverly from Middletown, Ohio. Beverly?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. Hi, Norm.
Hi, you didn't know my name, I don't think.
Yes, I did. I watched Saturday night.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I liked it when Dennis was on it.
Yeah, I did too. I watch Dennis every Friday.
Get out of here. You're great at that, man. You're great at this. You know why? Because you don't give a shit about Dennis. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing you can do. Whenever I'd go on, they'd go, what's it like following Chevy? And I like Chevy. He makes me laugh. I mean, what the fuck do I think about Chevy? I'm trying to make a living here.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see you, I know you're thinking the same thing. Like, screw Dennis. I'm killing. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, since nicotine is such an addictive drug, do you think someday you'll have to have a prescription to buy a pack of cigarettes?
Well, you know, they always bring up the Constitution and talk about how we should still have the right to a militia and all that. But let's face facts, this country was built on tobacco growers. So, you know, if you're going to start changing, if you're not going to change one thing because it comes from way back then, you can't change this either. There are farmers out there who make a living. Tobacco is one of the crops that got this country going. So, no, I don't think they'll ever make it illegal.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't make it illegal. I know.
I think Norm's backing me up on that. What motivated you to quit?
Well, I guess I read this thing about how it was like a phallic symbol, and that my doctor went in. He said, you probably have an oral fixation, which you know what that means. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So that's why I always smoke like cigarettes instead of cigars, because if I'm gonna have I like a little white thin cock, you know.
Are we back to cocks again? I go away to Ohio, Middletown, the center of the universe, to take a nice clean call, and then I space out. I'm thinking, I can't listen to Norm for a second. I gotta get a time cue here. I come back and you're talking about having a thin white cock in your...
I don't have a thin white cock in my cock, you mean?
No.
In my mouth. No, you misunderstand. What I'm saying is this. I'm just saying
don't make the mistake of thinking I fucking listen to you.
I just want to make it clear about that cock thing. I was just saying, if I ever was gay, if they suddenly made it mandatory or something, then I would choose the smallest cock, and I would like a guy that came fast. I don't know. I thought the subject was cock.
No, cocks is next week.
I'm sorry. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Norm MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen. are you?
No, I was just thinking, you know, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, you know, Bob Dole came right out and said
he was one of the first.
Yeah. And you know, you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, you know. I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock. What the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, an old man. You don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that in some corners is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, it's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is, you know.
Prefer to Spade.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rip kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
If you're gay, he's a completely straight guy. He gets a lot of ladies. You know that about him with the ladies.
Don't say ladies.
Women, girls.
Okay, thank you. Ladies, what are we, fucking on an FM station here?
He's Don Cornelius.
But these gay guys, man, I was reading, you know about
these gay guys.
I haven't even said hi yet. All right. Tell me what it is with these gay guys.
I know, I'm already.
I just read this thing about the George
You're reading
Michael.
a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a little time off. Now I read the newspaper. And this really strikes me about the gay community. I don't know if they're a community, but
It's called West Hollywood.
Yeah, they're gay, and it's, you know, George Michaels. He hangs around the bathroom. He has sex with multiple guys. This is
no way. You got to get it right. Hangs around the bathroom, and it was described as a lewd behavior, but I don't remember sex with numerous guys.
Well,
is that what you took away from it?
What does he do?
What were you, in the next stall?
I could have been just having a nice bathroom regular thing.
I don't know what lewd behavior is, but I don't know that he was in there with numerous guys. But anyway, go ahead. We get the gist of it.
This is definitely a gay thing, like, because this is a pop superstar. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, ah, you know? You're not going to...
What? I love it.
What I'm saying is, why would a famous...
What was she doing? Some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They do. That's what they do. Right?
That's what ladies that I know do.
Good to know that primetime exposure is paying dividends there.
But I think that's what it is. It's that the gay, that's why they have separate bathrooms. Let's face it. If they had women and, you know, women, as you call them, I call them ladies. If you had them in the same bathroom, like you go in the bathroom to do your business, see a man about a dog there, you know, and you're in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. All of a sudden, a beautiful lady comes out. Oh, here's my vagina and breasts. You're going to be hanging out at that bathroom a lot. So I don't blame anybody for anything.
Can you believe Olmeyer didn't get him?
I know.
We're all the same, man.
Have you ever met Olmeyer since then?
Don Olmeyer I met once, yeah, after he fired me.
Yeah.
Then I went and visited him in his office, which it wasn't an office I've never seen. It was like a wet bar and a bunch of weird sports trophies. He's a big sports guy, you know.
Yeah.
So he explained it to me what happened, but he did it all with sports stuff, you know. Like you said, man, you see, you're the number 3 hitter, but now you're going to be number 8. And then later on, Ken Griffey will show up. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then I said, well, Christ, man, what the hell am I supposed to do? And he goes, I don't know, just walk it off, you know. And
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were fucking with OJ too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's his buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah, well, that's why you got canned.
OJ's a good guy. I mean, he's not...
We got to end on that, Normie, but there's what they'll remember you by. OJ's a good guy.
Man,
Thanks for coming on. Norm MacDonald and David Spade. Stick around, guys. We have the good taste to bring tonight's guest back. Every season he is as uncensored a wit as they come. His new sitcom, The Norm Show, is on ABC Wednesdays at 9:30. Please welcome George Wendt, ladies and gentlemen.
They thought they were getting...
Georgie Wendt! Norby!
How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Year in, year out, my favorite guest.
All right, you're a good man.
Because you have no inner barometer of how far to go.
Well, no, because it's HBO. I like to be dirty, you know, and it's fun.
You know what you are? You're like a profane child. That's how I think of you, because you always say, I like to be dirty. Then you go up on this Pynchon-esque cock rant for like 3 minutes. Yeah, cocks are ugly, and Joe Campbell's a cock, and you're always shuffling your feet. What are you nervous about? You're a star, for Christ's sake. How's that sitcom world? Is that hell, or do you like that over there?
It's not a lot of fun, but, you know, it's good to do.
No, it's not on Olmeyer's. Has Olmeyer sent you a congratulatory telegram, or what word am I looking for there?
Olmeyer, I haven't heard any missive, I think.
Who's the Olmeyer at your network?
This lady, Jamie Tarsis.
She think you're funny?
Yeah.
Olmeyer's not even there anymore, isn't it? Isn't one of his last official duties to whack you?
Yeah. He took off, and they got this other guy, I think it's maybe Sammy Sosa.
Scott Sassa.
Scott Sassa.
All right, now I'm going to do a Rorschach thing. What flashes into your mind when I say bad taste? What do you find bad taste?
Well, there was this performance art guy, I remember in New York, that his whole big thing was he'd take a picture of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and then...
Oh, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then his whole act is he'd piss on it with his cock. Right?
Wow, you know, at least he showed respect. He could have pissed with his, what, arm?
Oh, you're right. So I thought that was really and horribly bad
taste. That's over the line, as far
as... Yeah, because Jesus Christ, you know, he died for the guy's sin, and then the guy pisses on his picture. And it was a picture of Jesus dying for his sins. Like he was on the cross going, oh, I'm dying for the guy's sins. And then this guy's like pissing all over it. But, you know, when Judgment Day comes, he's going to have to face Jesus Christ of Almighty of Nazareth, you know.
And Jesus is going to say, hey, asshole, what's with the peeing on my picture?
Yeah. That negates every other good thing he ever did, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't piss on my picture.
Yeah. You don't want to come up to the gates of heaven, God's leaning there with a nunchuck strapped around his neck, you know. How do you
go, I'll have some performance art for you while the fucking devil shoves some coal up your ass.
As I said before, the childlike outro. but effective. How do you define bad taste? Is it like beauty? Is it in the eye of the beholder, or what?
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, it depends on what people. Some people like get all upset over certain words, like they think that like girls all the time, man. When I'm talking to them, like if I go, "Hey, how about you and I like fuck?" You know, and then the girl always goes like, "I don't fuck. I make love. I make love." And I go, "I don't care. Whatever you want to call, as long as my dirty cock's involved, you know, I don't care. I'm not gonna get, you know, not gonna get in a semantic argument. Or, you know, you can call it making a grilled cheese sandwich as long as there's a lot of me doing that
kind of thing. Now, what's the earliest into a hitting on a woman that you've ever said, "I want to fuck you"? You give it a couple minutes, right?
I try to get into it pretty quick. You know?
Throw that trump card down. No, if you're in the game.
I don't, because I don't ever ask them would you like to have dinner? I don't really like having dinner with them, or having a drink with them, or anything like that.
No.
You know.
So that's your sort of exchange with women is.
Yeah, I say, "Hey, how about you and me fuck?" And then they go, "No." And then they go, "How about we have dinner?" And I go, "I don't like dinner. You don't like fucking."
So it's a pretty basic thing you have with women. Kind of a basic exchange.
I'm not good with girls.
When do you remember first being cognizant of bad taste? You know, because when you're a little kid, everything's kind of funny. You know, like farting is explosively funny.
Right.
When do you remember first being able to differentiate between bad taste and good taste?
I know when you're a kid, you'll say anything. Like, I don't remember much, but I have a little boy, you know, sweet little boy.
You have a son?
Yeah, he's a
Norm,
good boy.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
Ah, you want to say hey to him?
Yeah, hey, well, you better
he can't watch this show. That's what I always say. You can't watch Daddy.
Right. So little Dylan and I went to El Pollo Loco. Yeah.
His original name was Zimmerman, though, right?
No. I thought that would be the coolest name as I was a kid. I never heard anybody named Dylan. I said, this will be because I love Dylan Thomas.
Right.
So I said, this will be a cool name for a kid. And I thought it'd be unique, and now every fucking kid is Dylan. And they named him after that 90210 guy. Can you imagine? That's what I read in not a book, but a periodical. So anyway, little Dylan and I were getting some chicken at the Pollo Loco.
Right.
And kids are so wonderful, you know. You know that.
Unfiltered.
They're unfiltered, exactly. Yes. So we're standing beside this huge fat broad, you know. And so
not as unfiltered as Daddy, but unfiltered.
So me and little Dylan are behind her, and he goes, "Daddy, look how fat she is." And then so I had not said, you're not supposed to call fat people fat to him, so it wasn't his fault. So I said, "No, Dylan, shit, enough with that." And he goes, "I bet she's going to eat a lot of chicken. I bet." It was really funny because everybody was looking at her. And then right at that moment, the guy goes, "Yes, ma'am, what would you like?" And she was like, "I'll have 2 pieces of chicken." You know, she was going to order like 8 full whole chickens, you know.
Well, how do you know that?
Yeah. How do I know that?
Yeah, maybe she wasn't going to order 8 full chicken.
No,
maybe she was...
Because right when she ordered the 2 chickens, she did like the shifty eye, you know? I don't do a good shifty eye.
So you're behind her in line and yet able to discern the subtle REM-like movements of her eyeballs.
You got me on that one, man. I made that part up.
You don't even have a son!
For the purposes of that anecdote, I am not Darren.
I thought you were going to be quick and say, it was Linda Blair! We got a phone call for you, believe it or not. Fat woman from El Pollo Loco. No. It's Murtaugh from Miami, Florida. Murtaugh!
Hey, Dennis. Hey, Norm.
How are you, Mert?
I'm good. You know, I can't wait to see your new show. It really looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, when's it on again, Normie? Remind me. You're one of my friends. I'll let you plug capriciously.
Okay, it's on
oh, come on, you gotta get this. Huh?
When is it on?
Are you in it?
Yes. It's on Wednesday at 9:30 on the American Broadcasting Corporation.
All right. So, what's your question there, Mert?
Okay, why is it people like this annoying Joan Rivers, you know, always criticize people's bad taste at the Academy Awards. You know, like Gwyneth Paltrow, who's like the hottest chick on earth, and well, she has no taste in fashion whatsoever. You know, man. I mean, God.
Well, I don't. You know what? I feel awkward here because I met Joan Rivers once, and she was so nice to me and so funny. But I agree with him to some extent when she gets like lays into Kathy Bates or saying, "Oh, Kathy Bates never did anything wrong by her." And I just think there's that slight tinge of desperation in Joan sometimes nowadays. You know, that she'll say anything, and that kind of. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes that makes me uncomfortable. But you know, she's a good dame, and she does a great show there.
I hate Slam and other celebrities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Remember when Spade did that? How he lived his life in fear?
To Eddie?
Well, to Eddie, you know, to Eddie specifically, people, right? But Spade used to do that Hollywood moment. Spade, he's a great guy, he's one of our best friends, but he was always scared shitless because he made his whole thing out there just trashing people, and they would get pissed and call him, and he was always like living in fear. He never goes to Hollywood parties because he's afraid somebody's going to kick his little Sputnik ass, you know?
Right, because everybody he insults is like 2.5 feet taller than him.
Now, Norm, have you ever done anything in your long and storied career that you consider specifically to be in bad taste as you look back on it? Maybe at the time you thought it was a good play, but you look back on it and you think that was in bad taste.
Well, sometimes, like in stand-up, I'll do jokes that are like one time I was doing this thing in San Francisco, and they were all gay people in the audience. They told me, so I figured I'd do
San Francisco?
Yeah.
No.
So I figured I'd do stuff about gay people so that they could relate to it.
Yeah, it's warm up. They love that.
And so I was talking about, because I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies like with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son," you know? And so I was saying, that's an odd thing to be proud of, you know, because it's not an achievement, you know? It's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered, I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, you know, at work like they're, "Hey, Bill, you know, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, you know, first in his class, you know what I mean? Now he's articling over at a law firm, and, oh yeah, he loves cock." You know? This kid, he can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, this kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock. I want to show it to you.
To watch the maturation of you as an artist, to realize it took you 9.5 minutes to get around to the sucking cock stuff. It's beautiful to see you comfortable in your own skin, Normie. All right. The Norm Show, 9:30. What night? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
ABC. Good luck with it. Norm MacDonald. Stick around, Norm, to do the news. Norm MacDonald, ladies. Now, Norman, you're an inventive guy. Which of the current batch of inventions has tickled your fancy? What do you like?
Well, Henry Ford just invented the assembly line there, you know?
Yeah,
and that was good because he wanted, you know, not just rich people, but anyone to drive over and see his cock.
Well, is there any other one that's caught your fancy?
There's Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah.
You know, he invented the telephone.
Right.
So he could call people up, tell them to come on over and see his cock, you know, because he was tired of yelling it out the window.
So,
hey,
theme development.
check out my cock.
So, Norm, I hear you just got back from New York City. What's happening in Gotham?
Oh, my God. Well, the big thing is the new Empire State Building. Have you seen this?
I've heard. I have not seen yet.
Oh, it's crazy. What I'm interested in is the original architect's blueprint, you know?
Yes.
It called for the building to be painted flesh tone, Dennis, with a large rounded head so the architect could lie on the street and pretend he had a 1,000-foot cock. Frank Lloyd Wright, more like Frank Lloyd Cock.
So, Norm, tell me, what's your take on this whole Cold War thing?
Well, my brother works down at the UN, right? And you remember last week when Khrushchev was banging his shoe on the table?
Crazy bastard.
Yeah. So my brother was sitting beside him, and Khrushchev, like, he accidentally slips, and my brother gets hit right in the cock.
With the shoe?
Yeah, by Khrushchev's shoe. So my brother turns to him. He says, "Hey, you hit me in the cock again, you dirty commie. I'll bury you."
So what's been happening, man?
Oh, man, I dropped acid the other week. That is bizarre stuff.
Really?
Yeah, my cock started singing to me. I like Joe Cocker.
Stood for something other than just being Mexico's bitch. I say if President Clinton 296 doesn't snap us out of this downward spiral we're in, we dump his gay ass. Next election process, we clone Jesse Ventura again, bring him back. Hey, Norm.
Hey, you know what I think they should put on the dark side of the moon?
What?
Vast fields of bioengineered hydroponically grown cock. Yeah, you know, like a backup supply just in case our earthbound supply of cock might run out one day.
Oh, cock tucked away for a cocky day.
Exactly. Look at my head, man. It looks like a cock.
It does.
Cock. 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 That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
The smartest cat I ever knew at SNL, and a much revered figure there, is joining us for another segment. This is my former producer, longtime writer and contributor, Jim Downey. Jim, I had Norm on the show yesterday. I always thought Norm, from the first second I saw him, was just a flat-out misanthropic genius. I always gave him a wide berth as far as time schedules and that, because I just said, well, I'm going to grab Amadeus and tell him he has to be here to do busy work. You know what I mean? That isn't going to happen. So I think he's a genius. What was it like to work with him on Update?
Well, he is a genius and the most fearless performer. He likes people to laugh at his stuff. He enjoys that, but it's sort of one of like, half a dozen important aspects of what he does. Mm-hmm. So that if he really loves a joke or a bit, he will happily go out there and do it, whatever the response is. And there was if you want to hear a story,
I love me a Norm story.
One time we were in the office doing Update stuff, and there'd been a news item about there was going to be a newspaper for the homeless, and so we were thinking about doing some of that. So we started improvising. It was more of a scene, not something we could do on the segment, but it was like a tough kind of Perry White kind of editor going like, "You, Miller, I want 500 words on going to the bathroom in your pants. You, Immel, give me something. Give me a human interest thing on urine stain matter. You, was that kind of thing. Yeah. And like a lot of like photos, maybe some, a little human side, what are, pets, that kind of thing. And so nothing came of it, and I sort of forgot we had the conversation. And then the first meeting we have after the summer, Norm comes in and goes, hey, Downey, remember that, that thing we were talking about there with the, remember that thing with the newspaper for the homeless, that thing, the homeless newspaper? And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, well, I was out in L.A. and I was asked to do this benefit, for the coalition to feed the homeless, and, and I'm going, no. And he goes, yeah, I did that bit, They hated it. Hated it.
All right, you tell me now. That's the Andy Kaufman part of the joke, or is he actually surprised that they hated it? That's what I can't quite figure with look.
I know.
Jimmy calls in here periodically and says that he has bought a puppet and he wants to work material out on the show. And I'll say, well, tell me about the puppet. And it's an old man puppet who's a Holocaust denier. And it's obviously just Norm sitting at home talking as Norm. He makes no pretension to a puppet voice.
I know.
And I think he's Andy. I don't know. I view a lot of Andy Kaufman in there. It's just
he also would like to, one of the things that he would really enjoy just getting into a character and then you could not get him out of it. like he liked doing old man stuff.
Yes.
Like being an old geezer and complaining about aches and pains and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, Norm, now seriously, now we actually have to talk about it. He'd start doing stuff about rheumatism and things like that. And you just had to plead with him to just stop. But he was on his own kind of set of rhythms.
The speed with which he would take his sport coat off at the end of his Letterman impression always I would watch the thing just to watch, because Letterman's so ill at ease with show business, always makes this conscious show of getting rid of the sport coat at the end of the show. And when Norm picked up on that and did that as impression, God, I fell out.
You know who I learned a little bit about that was Norm. And of course, Norm's a little crazy, but Norm, a big host would come and we'd all get all hopped up, like, okay, Rosie's gonna bring in big ratings. Let's get our AP. Where's my goat? I'm gonna throw out a goat. And Norm would sit there in the pitch meeting. We'd all be dead serious. Will would throw out, I'm going to do a cheerleader.
Right.
This one and that. And Norm would be like, yeah, I got a sketch where, you're going in your pants, And you're just walking around, and you're like, I'm the guy with the in my pants, I hate this guy, and you look at him like he was nuts, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, Norm knew exactly. Listen, one of the single funniest things I've ever seen in my life is when he did Letterman, how quickly he would throw the sport coat off at the end of the sketch. Nothing made me laugh harder than Norm. Doing Letterman, and I said to him, what's with the sport? You know how Letterman, how ill at ease he is with show business. Yeah. Norm said, that's all I had at the beginning. The essence of it was his discomfort. I said, this guy's a freaking genius.
He is a genius. He would warm up the crowd. Now, when I would warm up the crowd, I would warm it up like I was playing the Garden, and I wanted to teach everyone a lesson. If I'm cut from tonight, I want you to know I should have been on.
That I was a badass.
Yeah, I'd warm up the crowd, kill. Norm would go up behind me, and he'd go, hey, Jim Brewer and these guys, he's got all these great impressions, So I said, well, I better learn some impressions. So, are you guys all ready? This is my newest impression of these, and I love it. Because here's Ed Sullivan. And I'm like, he's really going to do Ed Sullivan? Like, why would you? He goes, Ed Sullivan introducing the Beatles. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Beatles. Well, I got to work on that one a little bit. I'll see you during the show.
He's got a little Andy Kaufman in him, Norm. He likes to frustrate, titillate a little, but then periodically he'll say something like, I feel sorry for the homeless guy's dog, because the dog's thinking, this is the longest walk I've ever been on. Norm's hosting a sports show now, Jimbo, on Comedy Central.
Oh, that's dangerous. You and I both know that can be very.
Yeah, but that is a panel I volunteer for, because I want to be in the blast site of that when that goes off, because that is going to be a hoot. Hey, now listen, did I hear some rumble that Brother Sandler sent out Maseratis to the cast of Grown Ups? Did you reap the benefit?
First of all, let me just say one thing. Nothing's better than Nancy Pelosi Augustus reference.
Pelosi Augustus.
I'm still swooning over that one. Yeah, Stanley gave Maseratis to Spade, Schneider, Kevin James, Chris Rock, all of whom need one, by the way. Very bad, but
exactly. What'd you get?
No bitterness, but me and Norm MacDonald, yeah, we're splitting a zip car.
And you split a zip car with Norm. It's like having one of those, those Christmas trees the drivers have that smells like North Slope Sensimilla.
Yeah, this car. I don't know. They must have been smoking pot in here or something.
Norm cancels on us once every 2 weeks, and I almost enjoy it more than him showing up at this point, because he always wants me to talk to some ventriloquist puppet that he says is on the phone. A Holocaust tonight. What has happened to Norman?
And then when he sees she's going to go, how come you never have me on your show?
Nope.
We tried to get you on. What?
Nobody funnier, though. I mean, you got to give it to him.
Nobody funnier.
That guy, if I'm in a room with him for 10 minutes, they got to put the paddles on me, because I flat.
Hey,
Mr. Thornton, man, how did you come to be on that episode of Norm MacDonald Live? Had you met him before, or what the heck? How did that happen? How'd it come about?
Yeah, I've known Norm over the years. Sure, yeah. Nice guy.
He's my favorite comic. You're one of my favorite actors.
I got to tell you, Norm is hilarious. It's hard to beat Norm.
You did that big arena tour, didn't you?
I did it's me and Sandler and Spade, Schneider, Norm MacDonald, and
How funny is Norm MacDonald?
Oh, he's amazing. Ah, what?
Who's the funniest out of that group? Like
I don't know.
Can I speak from the outside? It's weird because like one night it's him, one night it's this thing about that's an all-star lineup right there, and Norm MacDonald is a funny motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I just watch. I don't watch comedy. I just watch clips of Norm MacDonald. That's all I like.
Yeah,
I like Norm.
He's the best.
Yeah, Norm does it for me.
I haven't seen the show. I saw a couple episodes. It was pretty good.
Of the
I used to love
Netflix
that
show?
podcast.
It's the same thing, basically.
Yeah. But there's a magic to that podcast because it came out of nowhere.
Right.
You're just not expecting Norm to
It's the
have
best
a platform.
podcast ever.
That first season of the Norm MacDonald podcast was...
Yeah, it's the best podcast ever.
After that's number 1, Come Town number 2, Rad Dude Cast number 3.
This is you may get annoyed at this, but this one time I was listening to a bunch of old clips of Norm MacDonald, and Norm was talking about the Death Squad.
Oh,
Have you heard that?
He talks about me a lot. It is so fucking
But it's
funny.
weird. It's really
so
strange. It's like,
funny.
why the fuck does Norm MacDonald? Because he was like, Death Squad. It sounds like a fucking group of fist fighters, not a comedy crew. You're like, what?
He is so hilarious.
It's interesting. Here's what it is, though. To me,
He did a Death Squad show also. So
well, he's talking shit because he likes it, right? He likes to mock things. You only mock things as a comedian that you enjoy. Like when we shit on each other, we joke around about each other's shit. It's only because we fucking enjoy each other. Otherwise, there's no way to really know if you get along with someone if you can't joke around. And I think he does that because he recognizes it. But it's like, from a distance, someone could be like, dude, he hates those guys. It's like, the fact that he knows it is even more important. To me, it's like, that's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a show. I did a Death Squad show in Denver at the Comedy Works, and
Such a good club.
He was there like the following day, but he came early, and he was just checking out the show, and it was right before we were about to start. And I'm like, he's like, hey, what's going on here? And I'm like, hey, if you want to jump on the show, he's like, what is it? He's like, so it's Death Squad show. And he goes, what the, But he used to do it when I first told him about it. Said like,
Death
I think
Squad.
that
That sound like a comedy
He's so
crew.
hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I better not say that.
Say it. Don't not say it. Don't not say it. The name of this episode is going to be Don't Not Say It.
Okay.
Come on.
One of the most funniest things about this is so mean, but one of the funniest things about Norm is like he really helped me out with my hygiene, hair hygiene.
Yeah.
Because that night when I was like talking to him, I look over to him and he had like literally a black like it looked like a bush, like a woman's 70s bush coming out of his ear hair.
He had a pussy ear?
And it freaked me out. So that night I went home to one of those like hotel mirrors that's really close up.
Right.
I look and I had like 2 of them. I'm like, oh my God, no one told me about this. And so now I've always wanted to like tell him like,
Tell
hey,
him that
man,
he was the inspiration?
you got like a quarter-sized bush hanging.
Well, now I hope he sees this and hears this. and then
I
he'll-
feel bad.
Yeah, the Death Squad guy says I got a lot of ear hair. Fuck him.
But
man.
what did you
Fucking-
want somebody to tell you?
Yeah, no, honestly, dude, most of us probably want somebody to tell us, but for the most part, we're so embarrassed about these shortcomings that you're like, please don't let me know about that fucking
Yeah.
shit.
So now I'm freaked out about that and nose hairs.
That's funny. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
If a comedian can't take a joke about that shit, I mean, we're in deep shit.
Have you met Norm MacDonald before? Being in the...
I got to work with Norm, and I guess I mean I hope he doesn't mind if I tell him because this is a very endearing.
Last Comic Standing.
No, I did.
Right?
I did
That
the
was
season before.
Okay.
But I got to work with him one week, and we.
What did you do?
Oh man, I watched every single set he did, and it was so cool. And we actually got. You know what? I already got into the story, so I got to tell. But
Let's hear it. Yeah, that's fine.
He wanted to get high.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I don't really get high before shows, but afterwards, cool. And
Sure.
he's like, no, now.
Well, when Norm MacDonald says now,
right? You say yes. Correct. And he goes and hands me the joint, and I was like, okay. And then he hands it back for a second hit, and I was like, no thanks. And he goes, what's your problem? And I go, well, I'm just worried I'm going to repeat a joke, and I still have to go up and bring you up because the opener was on,
right?
And I was hosting. So I still have to go up there and bring you up, and I just don't. I already did some jokes earlier, and I just don't want to tell the same joke again. And he goes, "That's insane. You're an idiot. Smoke this." And so I smoked it, and then we go inside, and I'm so high. I go, I'm just going to bring you up. I'm not going to do any time. I'm just going to bring you up. And he's like, no, do a couple minutes. And I go, no, please, just let me just bring you up. And he goes, no, do 5 minutes. This guy's doing really well. Give me, take a little, do a little time in between.
You need a little buffer between comments.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, okay. So I went up there, and I was so high, I was like, I don't even remember what I said in the first half of my set, so I'm just going to tell jokes that I haven't told in years. And when I told a joke...
so you told the audience, you let the audience in on the fact that you had been...
No, the audience didn't know.
They didn't know.
So I would just tell...
okay. Oh, so you just said that to yourself, I'm just going to do jokes I haven't done in 5 years.
Yes,
Okay.
and I walked on stage, and I would tell a joke, and then I would watch the audience, and if they laughed, I would relax and go, okay, that one down. And I did that the whole set. It was horrible. I was so stressed out. And then I just said, ladies and gentlemen, Norm MacDonald. And I look over to my right, and there he is walking the opposite way. and the feature turned him around and pointed him to the stage.
Over here, Norm.
That's how high we got by accident.
By accident, like you tripped on a joint. Right. But I mean,
I love the peer pressure from Norm, though. That's awesome. It's like a high school and middle school all over again.
And he's my hero, so I just, for me, I was a little worried about him. But then he walked on stage and he opened it up with this great bit, and he was crushing.
Right.
He was destroying, and then he got the light, and then he started to wrap it up, and he started to tell the joke he opened with, and I started to freak out. I was like, oh no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And the audience thought it was a joke. They thought he was being Norm.
Sure.
But when he delivered the punchline, and it was the same punchline, they realized he had just forgotten his joke, and they didn't laugh. They felt a little betrayed, and he walked off stage in complete confusion. And
that bit usually kills.
And then the feature goes, you told the same joke twice, you idiot. And he goes, no. And then he looks at me and he goes, this is your fault. And I never got to work with him again. That was the last time I worked with Norm.
But you know what? With Norm MacDonald, though, that's Norm. He's so irreverent that
you'd almost expect it.
He can do that.
Yeah.
And all this, that's a bit in itself. I mean, look at the cauliflower joke he did on the roast of Bob Saget.
Yeah.
That bit, he purposely went up there on that roast and bombed on purpose.
Yeah.
And it was genius.
Yeah.
And have you heard that bit?
Watch Norm MacDonald roast. Who was he roasting?
It was Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Your head looks like a cauliflower or something like that. I'm not going to do the bit, but yeah, go back and...
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis for better anyway.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm MacDonald.
Yes.
This might go off the rails really fast.
I
type
mean,
of guys.
yeah. I mean, Norm MacDonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that Norm MacDonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on, and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, hey, Bill, tell me, well, and remember I was living in Chestnut Hill once, and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Norm, what are you up to? And I mean, really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan. I'd be like, really? You purchased a... Yeah, I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters. And I'm like, you have 3 daughters? Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, kind of... Well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly. And I'd be like, Well, one day, this traveling salesman comes to the farm, and he says, now, Norm, I tell you. And then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah.
But
about halfway through where it's going.
I mean, I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that, no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes, we call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually?
You know what?
We could just queue it up on command.
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw you saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith. And I'll think that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like 85 now. Like, how is that possible?
I love Norm. Norm is from my home country, Canada, and from my home club, Yuck Yucks. And I've worked with him many times. Norm had one of the funniest stories he ever told on The Tonight Show about his father. Do you know about his father and Bill Cosby?
No.
No, not his. He told this on The Tonight Show. He told a story. It's one of my favorite stories because it's real, again. Bill Cosby was on SNL as a guest host when Norm was there. And he tells a story about his dad got him into comedy. Norm MacDonald's dad would sit him down. Every time there was a comedian on The Tonight Show or wherever, he would sit him down and make him watch. And they would watch Cosby together. Cosby stand up and they would laugh. That was his father and him bonding moment and maybe the reason he got into comedy. So when Cosby was on the show, he went up and he said, Mr. Cosby, I just want to tell you that I think you're the reason I'm in comedy. You are my dad's favorite comedian, and he used to make me sit down in front of the TV and watch you, and that's what inspired me to go into comedy, but you're his favorite. And Cosby says to him, where are you from? And he goes, I'm from Ottawa, Canada. And Cosby says, I'm playing Ottawa. I'm on tour. I'm going to be playing Ottawa in 2 weeks. Give me your dad's number. I'll call him, and I'll bring him to the show. And Norm goes, that's amazing. He goes, what's his number? And he wrote down his number, and then he walked away, and he started sweating, and one of his friends said to him, what's wrong, Norm? He goes, well, I told him that story, and then once he said, I'm going to call him, I was too uncomfortable to tell him my father died 5 years ago. So I just wrote down a bullshit number, and that's it. And they go, how could you do that, Norm? 2 weeks goes by. Norm is sitting in his office. They get a call. They said, Norm, Bill Cosby is on line 2. This is 2 weeks later, and he picks up the phone and he goes, yeah, he goes, listen, I'm in Ottawa and your dad's not answering. They said that this number is disconnected that you gave me. What is his number? And I can't remember for the life of me the end of the story, but Norm was stuck on the phone and he didn't want to say, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that he's dead. Like at what point do you kind of break this to Bill Cosby? It was one of the funniest real uncomfortable, and that kind of comedy is the kind of comedy that when people are uncomfortable. And when Norm MacDonald told that real life story, it's really funny, but oh my God, his father's dead. He's in a, it's
How do you get out of that? Yeah.
Yeah, there was no way.
Was there an ending?
I can't remember the ending, and I wasn't prepared for this story, and I remember I hear it a lot. I'm just kind of bowled over by the loss of somebody younger than me.
I had maybe the greatest Bill Cosby story ever.
Really?
And now it's not in the top 10,000. Because I'll tell people the story.
Right.
And then I'll constantly be interrupted by, and then did he rape you? I'm like, he didn't ever rape me. It had nothing to do with the story.
One of the nicest, most genuine, authentic people I've been watching over and over again. One of my favorite moments of his is in 1998, in January 7th, if you look it up, January 7th, 1998, he did the Letterman show. That is the day that he got fired from Weekend Update. Right. And he wouldn't say anything negative. Letterman did many, many times to him in his face. But he first of all, he was fired. He still showed up and did this appearance. You know, if you got fired off your main event, I doubt you would want to
promote it
and be out in public.
Right.
And that's all they talked about. And he would not say, you know, Letterman was going, what kind of idiot would fire you? No, he's a very nice man. He was a nice man. He just didn't like he would not besmirch the guy that made
class act.
The most classy.
Don Ohlmeyer.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, and I was talking to my buddies on a text chain the other day, a bunch of comics, and I said, you know, this wasn't Norm's time. He didn't want to live in a world of Don Ohlmeyers. Everyone trying to cancel everybody.
Right.
You know, it was interesting that he's gone now.
So you went on there and told that story, and then Dave was kidding you about Don Ohlmeyer, et cetera, as I
Right.
recall.
Dave was much more upset about it than me. Because Dave wasn't under the influence of Xanax.
I wonder if he's doing it now. Up there. Up there. She's up there too.
My favorite of all of the hosts of these types of shows is
what's his name?
Is the host of Deal or No Deal, Howie.
Oh, Howie. Yeah.
He's the most amazing.
Good.
Even though he's a comedian, he does it, and I'm going to tell you that you are in a moment.
Yeah, and he still gets us every week.
Every time.
Every week.
I was in Montreal at that restaurant.
Yeah.
Cochon de whatever, petit, something de cochon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
So, like
A pig.
Yeah, the pied de cochon.
Yeah.
Right. They make their own head cheese. And I'm like, really? Why would anyone? I thought that was garbage meat. But no, they're making it right out of the head. You can order a whole pig's head there.
You can?
Eat for two.
Ugh. I was in Cambodia once. I ate a brain. It was brain.
Really?
Yeah, mine was stupid. Now,
Zuckerberg says he's only eating his own meat that he kills now. Have you read that?
With his bare hands.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg?
The kid's a monster.
He tries to do one thing to alter his modern lifestyle every year. And this year he says he's only going to eat meat that he's actually killed. And I was wondering, what are you adhering to lately?
I'm a vegetarian, a strict vegetarian.
No, have you done that?
Well, I eat chicken.
It's not all that.
That's not vegetarian.
I'm not. I said I'm not strict. I eat chicken and
steaks
beef. Pork. I ate raw game. Did you ever eat? It's not dead yet.
No, you're
and
over
you
there.
eat it, and as you're eating it, their death throes are making you hungrier.
There's nothing.
That's better than a soybean.
Yeah, you're right.
Which sounds better, that or soybean?
Listen, some of the best meals I've had is that Mongolian thing over at Dahmer's on Wednesday night. Literally, we ate a Mongolian.
Did I tell you I ate a live fish in real life?
No.
Yeah, I was at a sushi restaurant, and the guy's like Japanese. Mm-hmm. And so I go, I eat just sashimi, like raw fish. Mm-hmm. I don't eat with rice or anything like that.
Yeah.
Am I trying to impress him? So he goes, eat raw, you eat live fish? I go, yeah. Even though I don't. And he goes,
never think he's going to call you on
yeah, and I go, plus it sounds kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I get you live fish. I go, thanks, man. Like I was an inside guy, and then he brought out a fish and hit it and knocked it out and put it on a stick. It was live. And that clears out a sushi bar. A lot of people, the girl I was in was barfing in a bathroom. And the only people interested was the guy, the Japanese sociopath guy. And all the Mexican help, they were all like looking like I'd eat it. And so I had to cut it. And then they leave the fish that's on the skeleton that looks like the one Sylvester found on a garbage thing. Mm-hmm. To move. It's moving and like a dead bobblehead, and you had to put water in its mouth to keep it alive so you could watch it die as you ate. It was a nice meal.
It's the rules. It's how to capture a man's heart. And it's for women. And it says all these rules that you have to follow, and you will capture a man's heart. And the rule number 1, have huge breasts. Yeah, that guy likes it. Yeah. Because apparently men love women with huge breasts.
They do. They like that.
That's what they say. Not this character over here, Andy.
Newlyweds Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson had their first argument this week. He wants kids, while she wants fake kids. Pop singer Madonna was outraged this week when a tabloid photographer snapped her picture while she was breastfeeding her new baby. Apparently, the baby was blocking her nipple. Connecticut legislatures are about to pass a law that would make it illegal to prohibit breastfeeding in public. Then, hopefully, these legislatures will also change the fascist law that the person being breastfed in public has to be a baby. Michael Jackson has reportedly stepped right into his new role as a dad, spending many hours a day with his newborn son, doing the changing, the burping, even the breastfeeding. So, it's nice when a fella does that. Asked recently what will set his new Batman film apart from its predecessors, Batman and Robin director Joel Schumacher said, quote, "In this one, all the costumes will have nipples." Note to self, do not watch the next Batman and Robin. While Premiere Magazine's list of the 100 most powerful people in Hollywood hit the newsstands this month, in an odd bit of ranking, Demi Moore was ranked number 28, while her breasts were ranked 20 and 21. So, in an interview out this week, Demi Moore says she would like to have another baby, this time a boy, to go along with her 3 daughters and 2 huge breasts. Demi Moore is wrapped filming on G.I. Jane, in which she plays a Navy SEAL combat officer. Moore says that in contrast to other Hollywood portrayals of women in the military, her character will have giant breasts. Actor Bruce Willis is filming his next movie, The Broadway Brawler, in Wilmington, Delaware. Meanwhile, his wife, Demi Moore, is taking a break from movie work, saying she wants to spend more time with her huge breasts.
Connected to our senses. Found a way to let you share.
Who do you think is attractive?
I like Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, come on.
You don't like her?
Come on.
You don't like Anna Nicole Smith?
Come on, she's gotten heavy. He's putting me on.
No, I'm not. I saw a picture of her recently where she was really, really fat, where she didn't look good.
Right, but you're talking about years ago when she was thin. Oh, okay.
Not that long ago. Yeah, a couple of years ago.
So you like big breasts?
Yeah, I like big breasts.
Does your wife have big breasts?
She has normal size breasts.
What, C cups?
I don't know. I hear you talking about those. I don't follow those.
You're in bad shape. Do you like Sally Struthers too?
Oh, I did.
You
yeah.
did, right? Yeah, that's your type.
Oh my
like
God,
blonde
I
and
love
buxom.
Sally Struthers.
Not anymore though.
What?
Well, you don't like her anymore.
No, I don't like her with the flies around her.
Yeah, it's kind of a turn off.
I saw Matlock.
Only you would refer to Andy Griffith as Matlock.
Well, I don't want to get too arcane. Yeah, his real name's Andy Griffith, but now he calls himself Ben Matlock.
Where'd you bump into him at?
He was at the airport at the LAX.
You're kidding me. Now that would be a thrill for me.
Oh man, it was incredible because I grew up watching the Andy Griffith Show, and then later when he changed his name to Ben Matlock.
Yeah.
So,
Norman, what do you got planned today? What are you going to do?
Well, I was going to tell you my Matlock story, but
No, go ahead. Sorry, I've got time. Go ahead. Recount. I thought you had to go. Go ahead.
No, I remember I was telling you about how I met Andy Griffith.
Yes.
So he's reading this big book, you know.
Oh, right.
So
That's it.
I say I'll sidle up beside him and pretend to read a big book myself, you know, and then we'll get in a discussion, right? Because I didn't want to just bug him, you know.
That's how you meet people.
And I was hoping maybe he'd, by some crazy chance, maybe recognize me or something. So I stand beside him, and he's reading and everything like that, and I'm talking to him and everything. Anyways, turns out the guy's not Andy Griffith. Just an old man. So now I'm just talking to an old man who clearly is always like mistaken for Andy Griffith, but uses it, you know, because I'm like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and who would talk to an 85-year-old man? So this guy's just milking it, you know.
Ah, Norman, I love you. I'll talk at you down the road. The Dennis Miller Show.
You know, you're in the middle of your big promotional tour for sports show.
Yeah, I was on Letterman. Who's better than Letterman, right?
Nobody.
And no, I didn't mean
I
that.
know. I agree with you. Nobody.
No, they think I'm making a joke, but no, of course we grew up on Letterman.
That's why we want to do this.
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but
well, it's why we've agreed to do it.
Yeah, but what's awesome is you get to meet like guys, right? So I was on Letterman. I met Willie Nelson is one of my heroes because I love country and western music, and my buddy Billy Joe Shaver is buddies with Willie. So when I was at Letterman last week, I was like, I gotta go talk to Willie, you know.
Yeah.
So then the guy that's the segment producer is like, hey, Nora Jones is with him, you know. I don't know who that is. But you know how you get old legends to sing with some young person?
Yeah.
So I go, okay, whatever. So he goes, yeah, but she'll be there. Like, don't forget to say anything. I go, all right, don't worry. So I go down, and there's Willie Nelson. I'm like, oh my God, we're telling all these stories and everything. And then there's a lady standing beside him, yeah. So then he hits me like this, you know. I go, ah, and then I remember, I go, Nora Ephron. Oh. And then I go, Nora Jones. I said Nora Jones after, but I said Nora Ephron because here's the thing. When you say Nora fast, it's hard not to say Ephron right after.
It's one of the hardest things you could ever do in your life.
You like Rickles, right?
I love Rickles. Yeah.
I did a movie with Rickles, right? So it's so awesome.
Dirty Work, right?
Dirty Work, yeah. So it's so awesome. So awesome, and so he couldn't remember now. He couldn't remember any lines, you know. So I'd go like I write something that I thought sounded like Rickles. Like I go, hey, say Don, say this to Artie Lang. You know, say Baskin Robbins called me today, and they're down to 3 flavors. You know? So then he goes, look at you. He goes, Baskins and Johnson called me today. He goes, and you know what they told me? They told me. You ate all their ice cream. All their ice cream. Tubs and tubs of ice cream. And now, they don't. It's like 45 minutes. But this is the funniest, man.
You don't give Don Rickles lines.
I tell you, man.
You let him come up with his own.
You gotta let him go.
Yeah, that's right.
But Rickles, man, he's the real deal.
He's the best. Yeah.
He's the funniest guy. And so that week, Sinatra was on his deathbed. Right?
Frank
Sinatra, Rickles', close friend.
Sure.
You know. So at lunch, I was like, people were like, should we mention Sinatra? I don't think we should mention it. Bum him out, you know. But then I said, I don't want to ask him, you know. So I said, hey, Frank, hey, Don, have you talked to Frank lately, you know? And he goes, yeah, I saw him last week. There was a lot of this. Guy died 4 days later. And then I said, oh. And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's a lot of me with my head 2 inches from Frank's face going, I'm not Barbara.
Well, Frank wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I have a feeling.
That's right. One more thing about your my impression of you that I just recalled.
What?
I had a chance to meet Johnny Carson because of that impression. Sudden thought, when did sugar diabetes become plain old diabetes?
How so?
Because Johnny Carson phoned me and he said he loves Larry King and every day he reads the News and Views, which was the impression I did was your News and Views in USA Today. So I had a chance to meet Johnny Carson, which I didn't take.
Why?
He would tell me stories, he could tell me stories about everybody. that existed ever in life in show business. And then I'd have to go, did you ever meet Chris Kattan? I wouldn't have anything to give back.
But he wanted to meet Norm. You missed the.
I should have done it.
You're weird, Norm.
I met guys though. I did an impression of you on Saturday Night Live. Your King's Things, bulletin points, and so I did a parody of that on SNL, and I only had to slightly magnify it.
This is News and Views. Here's my 2 cents, gang. If you only see one film the rest of your life, it should be Mickey Blue Eyes.
I get a call from Johnny Carson, and he wants to meet with me at his office. So I go to his office, it's just me and him. And he pulls out a whole bunch of USA Today's clips, of your column. And he starts reading them. He goes, here, you take some, I'll take some, we'll read them.
Just in the office.
Yeah, just me and him in the office, both of us doing Larry King impressions.
You do a lot of work for charity, Norman, in the sense that you'll go on TV shows for charity. You did, didn't you do a Celebrity Millionaire or something like that?
Yeah.
And how did you do on that? Did you win money?
Yeah. I did. The celebrity, the charities did.
You're not the celebrity?
The charities did.
But you were the celebrity on Millionaire.
Yeah, do you remember leukemia?
Yeah.
My money that pushed it over doesn't exist anymore.
You got rid of it.
I got rid of it.
No, you went on Millionaire with Regis, right?
Yeah.
And Regis asked you questions.
Yeah.
And then you answered up to, do I have this right? $500,000 worth of questions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he won $500,000.
Brainiac.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty smart. 500,000 to get up to. That's pretty good.
Norm's a smart motherfucker.
But I'm not anywhere close to Brainiac.
Well, Brainiac, of course, was invented on Krypton. He's a supercomputer. But
Yeah.
I don't say literally. You're
I was saying, you're comparing me. That's high praise. Because Brainiac, you could tell even from his head how smart he was.
And he had tubes coming out of his head.
I know, man.
Norm picked Paul Newman's charity because Norm wanted to meet Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So you gave to his salad dressing empire kind
and
of thing?
also, it is a great
The hole in
cause.
the wall.
The hole in the
kids
wall
or
game.
How long ago was this? A couple of years ago?
Yeah.
So Paul Newman was
26 years ago.
So did Paul Newman call you personally and say to you, "Hey"?
No, he wrote a letter.
Did he?
Yeah.
Look at you, $500,000 contribution.
Yeah, and I could have gone to meet him, but then I was too afraid.
What do you mean you were afraid?
Well, and like it seems like a good idea, but then when it comes down to it, it's just you and Paul Newman.
Yeah, you don't know what
in
to
a
say.
room. Yeah, and then you got no stories. Like what am I gonna say? I go, hey man, one time Will Ferrell was.
Rob Schneider and Football Williams. I'm sure
Rob
you love
Schneider.
him.
Do you know him at all? Do you know anyone that I'm talking about? Do you know any entertainers I know?
That was a great story about you and Redford.
Yeah.
Listen, me and Artie Lang.
In other words.
So that was Robert Shaw, huh? Hey, fucking Bud Friedman's backstage with me. This guy's a character.
What
huh?
you're saying is Paul Newman wrote you a letter and said, "Why don't you come out to my Paul Newman ranch? And hang out with me."
Yeah.
So
but
I can
plus,
get to know
I
you.
kind of got the assumption that it would not be just me and Paul Newman. I suddenly had a fucking vision that it might be me, Paul Newman, and very sick children.
Oh, God.
So then it didn't become as appealing.
Well, you know what? Gary actually went to Paul Newman's house. Papa Booey went to Paul
did?
Newman's. Yes. He was there for some charity event.
Oh, not to
I think
harass him.
it was a political thing.
A political thing. And Gary was in the barn. Paul Newman has a barn on his property.
Yeah.
And if he wants to meet with you, he meets with you in the barn where he has all his memorabilia from his, well, now he's dead, but he had all his memorabilia in the barn.
Gary, go to the barn.
You walk around and it's almost like a Paul Newman museum. You see pictures, you see trophies, you see Academy Award, whatever. And then Paul Newman appears at the barn, and he speaks with you, and then he leaves. And that would have been it. I'm sure he wouldn't.
Oh, that would have been it. Oh, that's his shtick he does. It's his meet and greet. It's like Artie backstage at an Indian casino. I was going to be Martin Short's friend for a while. We were in negotiations.
Yeah, how'd that break down?
I don't know. I met him. He was fucking funny, and he made me laugh, and he was laughing at me and shit. So I said, "Hey, we should be friends and stuff." And he said, "Yeah, well, let's be friends. You go to a cottage." And I was like, "Ah, fuck! I'd have to go to a cottage, you know." And then so it never caught on because the cottage was in my head and shit.
What do you
but
mean
still, I would
cottage?
like, that guy would be cool to
I
fucking
know.
hang out
But
with.
what do you mean
met him.
that
He's
would be a good
hilarious.
friend
But then
for you?
going to a cottage, you understand?
I don't want to go to a
Yeah. Well, that's the problem
All of
with
a
you.
sudden, you're going on a cottage on a plane.
But that's
You go,
the problem.
Maybe I
Norm,
should have done this.
Norm,
What?
that's the problem
What's
with you. So if someone suggests something right away, it's not
Too guarded. I know what you're
it's
saying.
not too. It's not cool enough for you. Where would
They're
you
not
go
cool
with Martin
enough.
Short?
I think
Martin Short says, "Let's go to a cottage
No, I'm
and
not
hang
saying
out."
that. I'm
Yeah.
saying like I think you're right when I said I'm too guarded. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
you don't wanna
willing
be-
to do things.
You don't want to be trapped in a cottage with Martin Short. The
No, I would
idea,
no, I love
the
that
idea
part.
of being friends with Martin Short is fun. The idea of being in a cottage with Martin Short and then having the pressure to talk and to interact with one another.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work out for you,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't work out for me either.
But you go on that vacation.
But maybe in
with,
another lifetime.
Yeah.
When it comes to my sports.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite sportscaster of all time?
Yep.
It would be a tie. It would be a tie between Marv Albert and Howard Cosell.
You did Harry Carey impersonation. Did you do Cosell? Did you ever do?
One time I met Cosell when I was a boy, and I was struck by his honest. Oh, here's a funny Cosell thing. I was watching Monday Night Baseball once. You probably remember when this happened. Dave Winfield hit the pigeon.
The seagull in Toronto.
Seagull.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed the seagull in practice the day before. So then they used to have Monday Night Baseball, right, with Cosell and Keith Jackson and stuff.
Yeah.
And so Cosell would do those great cold openings, and he goes, they show like a picture of Winfield. He had killed the bird the day before. And then Cosell goes, "You know that man, Dave Winfield, last night." What is that? He goes, "Last night, he was 2 for 3 with 4 hits, 3 RBIs, and 1 BIRD. Tonight, he proves that diamonds are not a gull's best friend. Tonight," he would always, like, right after his joke, yell, "Tonight."
Once you get started with
but he came. This is my story about it. While I was in Toronto, I was a little young boy, and he was coming out of a hotel, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Howard Cosell." So at Toronto at the time, it was mid-season, and Montreal and Toronto were both leading their league, which was very, very strange. And so we were all excited about Toronto. We said, and we were just kids, and nobody else was around. We said, Howard, how do you think Toronto is going to do this year? And he just walked by us, and he goes, "Frankly, I like Baltimore." Hey, Dan, I heard you old boys talking about Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd share a tale about him with you.
Okay.
I went to see him at here in Los Angeles because Merle Haggard was opening for him,
Okay.
and I'm just an old chunk of coal, and I like Merle, so I was there for Merle, but I stayed for Bob Dylan, and he was kind of it was like you were saying, you couldn't understand what songs he was singing, and but anyways, halfway through the concert, all of a sudden, because he doesn't talk to the audience or something, all of a sudden he started talking to the audience, and he said, "Ringo, Ringo, 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 Ringo," about 45 times. So everyone was sort of in shock, and finally a light went into the audience, and it was Ringo Starr was sitting there with some lady, and then he's all uncomfortable. He's like, "Ringo," so he said it about 12 more times.
Did you meet him?
Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him. What happened was, I was going to finish my Ringo story.
Oh, I'm sorry, Norm. I'm sorry. Ringo.
Ringo. So anyways, he said, "Ringo," like a whole bunch of times, and then he said, any songs you want to hear, Ringo? And then Ringo Starr said, I don't know, do you know any Bob Dylan songs?
Do I?
For this story?
Yeah.
Yeah, so name one.
Tangled Up in Blue.
Yeah, so he said, Ringo goes, well, how about Tangled Up in Blue? He goes, I already did that one.
He just didn't understand that he was doing Tangled Up in Blue.
No one understood anything. But, yeah, I did meet him, but I don't know him because I'm into country. I'm into outlaw country. So I was there for Merle.
Yeah, I like Merle.
You like Merle?
Yeah. I like Waylon.
Oh, God, you like all the guys I like. My best friend is Billy Joe Shaver. He wrote Honky Tonk Heroes for all those boys. And, Waylon, Willie.
And the boys.
All those boys. There's some new guys on the horizon. There's Hank the Third. But most of this country has turned into stuff Michael Sam would listen to.
Well, careful here.
What? No, I mean, I enjoy seeing a guy kissing another guy, as much as the next feller. But I'm just glad he wasn't picked in the first round.
You're not sure what would happen?
Well, it may have been full-on insertion.
Texaco Oil, reeling from the public outcry over racist remarks made by some of its top executives at a tape-recorded meeting, today announced a dramatic change in company policy. No more tape-recorded meetings. 4 Wisconsin men have been charged with felony hate crimes after burning a man's buggy simply because he was Amish. If convicted, the men face up to 25 years in prison. But furious Amish leaders say that is not enough. They want the dunking wheel. In the course of his summation, Cochran also brought up Detective Mark Furman, calling him a, quote, genocidal racist, and comparing him to Adolf Hitler. Furman later responded, after all the things he said about me during this trial, it's a little late to start sucking up now. Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan has accused the National Park System of racism, claiming the agency deliberately undercounted the number of participants at his Million Man March. A spokesman for the Park Service denies the charge, saying, quote, our estimate is based on state-of-the-art aerial photography. We stand by our number. Heil Hitler. Last week, as Pat Buchanan announced his decision to run for president, several people jumped on stage chanting, Buchanan is a racist. As security began to wrestle them from the stage, Buchanan stopped them and said, let them continue. That's my slogan.
Now, what do you think about this dog, the bounty hunter? Have you been following that at all, Norm?
Oh, that guy, I mean, to me that sounds racist. But like you gotta remember that even though that is a racist comment, listen, man, we've all known bounty hunters in our time, and they have that thing like curse like a sailor. Well, that could go for bounty hunters just as well. They just chose sailor. Those guys. I mean, they're not like you or me,
No, they're bounty hunters.
If you choose that as your career, you're a bounty hunter. Listen, some salty language is not going to be as... You may as well just be a longshoreman. No, there's nothing worse than bounty hunting.
Norm, you're a genius. All right, we got a couple minutes left. Anything else you want to lay on the listeners before we leave today?
That was funny, that bounty hunting thing. Seems like he's going to get a pass on it, right?
I don't think so, Norm. I think he's in trouble.
Are his bounty hunting days over?
Where's he go from there?
We can't keep you on. I'm sorry, but, you have to... you have a public image of hunting down criminals in their hotel rooms, diving at them in the middle of the night and beating them up. We can't have you saying racist things. I don't know.
All right. great, Norm. I'm going to put some oxygen on my face here and recover. You're going to be on every Friday now?
Yeah, that'll be fun, right?
Oh, are you kidding me?
I'll feel like your Pete Barbuti.
No, stop. Chuck Mangione references too far behind.
Yeah.
Thank you, Storm and Norman. We'll talk at you down the road. This is the Dennis Miller Show.
Having less money or having or not having less money is not a product of your nature. It's that you don't have the money because the white people don't give you the money.
It's actually supportive of black people to say that, actually.
707
Of course
says...
I'm supportive of black people. I'm in a room of
You're
racists.
saying that to have justice,
Oh
we should
my
all
God!
have equal,
The 415. Do you want to keep him for the next segment? At this point, I'm not sure. I'm finding Norm to be somewhat on the offensive side.
You know what, though? I love that he's saying all this stuff and then looks over with a big smile.
I know,
and
big smile. He's like, oh man, they're gonna talk about this all day.
Well, I didn't know that everyone. I thought San Francisco was a little more open than.
No, San Francisco actually
they're
isn't.
racist?
No, they're not racist.
Well, you gained
gained a lot of weight, so did you. I gained 45 pounds.
I was going to say something, actually.
What?
Well, I thought you'd been gaining some weight.
Yeah, I gained 45 pounds.
You okay? Yeah, what's going on?
No, I'm going to lose it though. Yeah, it's the heaviest I've ever seen. And since I've gained it, I sweat like a you sweat like a whore in church. I don't mean to be what? I don't mean to be filthy, but a whore in church. Yeah, she's nervous, so she sweats because
Sweating like a Chris Dorner in a Big Bear cabin.
Okay, come on.
Well, I'm just.
That's racist.
Are you familiar with the Tinder app?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So I'm on there.
God, look at you.
Huh?
I like goes, are you familiar with the Tinder app? It's like Ted Levine.
Everybody says that. I do. I sound a lot like Buffalo Bill.
Your name is?
Oh, Jack Gordon.
Mr. Gordon. Good. Well, Frederica used to work for Mrs. Lippman. Did you know her?
No, Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person? I'm on there. I matched with this one girl. She's like young and very attractive.
I'm a 4 too.
We start talking. She's texting me at like 4 a.m. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? She's like, oh, I'm bored and I wish I had some weed. You want to come over? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's sending pictures of her. Oh, maybe we'll have fun. And I'm like, so at this point,
What were the pictures?
It was like her bent over with no, clothes on and stuff. And I'm like, but at this point, my cock's making the decisions. Anyway.
Tell me.
And so I call my friend, and then she's like, yeah, just can you bring a C note? Well, I have a roommate that sells
$100 bill.
$100 bill, and we'll go get some weed, and you can come. And I'm like, yeah, am I getting mugged? I called my friend. He said, put the phone number into Facebook, and you can see who the person is.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so I put the phone number into Facebook, and the profile comes up. It's this black guy in a ski mask in all the pictures.
It doesn't matter what race he was.
So
As a matter of fact, I don't know how I knew he was black. He was wearing a ski mask.
Well, you can tell. So I head over there. No, I know. You can tell.
I know.
No,
I've never heard his view on African Americans until this very show. That's interesting that you got that out of him.
Plenty of black friends.
Plenty of black friends.
Dated a black woman for months. No, I'm not a racist.
If you're a racist,
Oh, yes.
it's not illegal, but you can't work.
If you're a racist, you can't
Well,
work.
Donald Sterling, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there's any correlation?
He doesn't have to work.
No, he doesn't.
$10 billion.
No, but a serious question, though.
Yes.
If a man has a job and he is a racist,
Yes.
should the job be taken away from him?
No.
Okay.
But his fellows should. His fellows.
Good news for him.
Yeah.
Not a racist.
Here's actually a joke about Donald Sterling.
Oh, good. All the charities that Donald Sterling donated millions of dollars to are giving the money back to him. Well, that'll show him. It's not bad.
Two businessmen bought the Milwaukee Bucks for $550 million. They are very excited with their purchase, as this is the only legal way to own black people. Now that is here, and I read that.
Well, you're not there. You know how businessmen are racist?
They are.
Yes, it's them being racist.
They
not
are.
You.
The two businessmen that bought the Milwaukee Bucks for $550 million.
Yeah.
are racist according
they're
to this.
fine, man.
They're.
Do you have any other color jokes? I mean, he's just blue and yellow.
Did you just say, do I have any other colored jokes?
I knew you were going to say that.
Fucking Jimmy the Greek over here. I don't want to.
Jimmy the Greek.
How about Jimmy the Greek gets kicked out for being a racist? Meanwhile, they call him the Greek. TV. Jim's.
This is what you said their neighbor was? Jim Ping?
That is my neighbor. A nice fella.
Nice guy?
Let me his abacus
I want to do this.
Jesus.
Oh, come on. That's not a Chinese guy.
I wasn't saying it was.
That was kind of
What are you,
racist.
Mickey Rooney?
Hey, come on.
I know he's dead,
Have a
but
little
Mickey Rooney
respect.
did a very racist thing, like you just did, in a movie called Breakfast at Tiffany's by the wonderful Truman Capote.
I wasn't doing anything racist, and you know it. But go ahead.
If you don't stop with that pornographer, right this minute, I'm going to go to the police department.
You know what I read today?
Yeah,
in the
what?
Inquirer, that Michael Richards was attacked at that pink yogurt place.
Oh, he was attacked?
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that's sort of scary. Is first of all, Mel Gibson has a career that he could hurt. Michael Richards doesn't really.
Wait a minute, Norm. I believe Super Dave was going to tell a joke there. I'm kind of.
I'm sorry. I thought it was really
No. Well, it seemed to me that he was going to say something because he didn't. He wasn't being serious. And then you said some. Super Dave, was there a joke there?
No, Norm. No. I was telling the truth.
Okay.
That I read where he got these punk kids ran at him and slammed his car and everything, tried to turn it over, and he ran away.
Right. Yeah, because I'd be very frightened because Mel Gibson, if you make fun of Jewish people, then it's not like you're in danger. But
what?
If you're driving
what did you
around,
say?
You heard him.
Oh, hey, here's the thing, and I'm going to say it again.
This is a very funny thing that happened. Marlon Brando, remember, said that Hollywood ran. The Jewish people ran Hollywood.
That's right.
Yeah, but Marlon Brando.
And then he had to apologize.
Marlon Brando
and they let him work.
Say anything. Marlon Brando lived.
We're listening to Norm Macdonald and Super Dave argue about the Jews.
Marlon Brando lived behind a cardboard cutout.
What?
He lived behind a cardboard cutout. He was 900 pounds. So he could basically say anything.
No, but don't you think Michael Richards would be kind of in peril? And
well, but I don't think he had a career.
No, I'm saying just physically.
Hey, did you cut us off?
I didn't.
Are we just talking?
Yeah, you guys.
We're not even on the radio.
You haven't been on for the last hour, but it's great.
So great. I haven't talked to Norm in about 3 weeks.
Jonathan, don't you think that Michael Richards may have his life sort of in danger?
Yes.
No, I would move to either Tucson or Idaho.
Yeah, or Wisconsin.
Why, is Wisconsin good too?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You mean like just a shack in the woods or something?
Or Boston. He could move to Boston.
Yeah. Stay hard. Yeah.
Wait a second.
No, wait.
You know the joke about B.B. King's wife?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't think so.
B.B.'s having a birthday, so she wants to surprise him, so she goes to the tattoo parlor. She says, put a B on one cheek and a B on the other. So the guy does it. She goes home. B.B. comes home. She opens the door, bends over, drops her shorts, and says, surprise! He said, who's Bob?
Oh, that's great.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. The one and only Super Dave Osborne and his joke about
Yeah, sell that to Michael Richards, man.
Why, that's not a racist joke.
Yeah, sure it isn't.
Who's Bob?
Yeah, you know, that's the way you want to broadcasting in stereotypes, 97.9 FM.
Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
Bob Hope's wife goes to a tattoo parlor.
No, but you chose an African American.
Well, but Bob Hope is dead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And she says, put a B on one cheek and a B on the other. She comes home. Bob Hope comes home. She bends over, pulls her pants down, and he faints.
Now, Bob Hope is dead.
Yeah, I know.
Bring me the body of the great Bob Hope. If he struggles a lifetime of with a rope. If he smells a bit, wash him down with soap. Just bring me the body of the great Bob Hope.
Bring me the body of the great Bob Hope. Another song by Super Dave Osborne and Norm Macdonald. They've collaborated together on a great new CD, Music from Dead People. Want to hear
Guy
something?
comes home with a duck under his arm.
Oh, shut
Wife
up.
opens the door.
Yeah.
She says, where the hell have you been? He says, this is the pig I've been screwing. She said, it's not a pig, it's a duck. He said, I'm not talking to you.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Super Dave, Norm MacDonald. You know,
Why did you make her African American in that joke?
yeah, why did you say? You heard it because you're racist. He said you're racist. He said, why didn't you make it an African American in your joke? That's what you like to do, don't you? Super Dave.
Hey, don't you feel sorry for Michael Richards, really, though?
All right, goodbye.
If you were Michael Richards and you were in that situation and
That word.
and you said those things, what would you have done next?
Well, I think what he did was panic and start pretending he was Lenny Bruce. Like, because he said that word and everything, and then he said, that word, it still has power.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did this.
But no, I mean after the incident itself.
Oh, I would move to Idaho. Ketchum, Idaho.
Okay.
The only people nowadays can afford live-in help are rich people and Jews.
Not all Jewish people are rich.
I never knew one that wasn't.
Do you know that in many countries, England, for instance, there is a law that says whatever two consenting adults do in private is their own business?
Listen, this ain't England. We threw England out of here a long time ago. We don't want no more part of England. And for your information, England is a fag country.
What?
I think that, if God had meant us to be together, he'd have put us together. Well, look what he's done. He put you over in Africa. He put the rest of us in all the white countries.
I think most of the audience was laughing with Archie Bunker. Of course. A lot of people were laughing with Rob Reiner, the liberals and the conservatives. Yeah, Archie, you tell them.
Well, I think if you were neutral, you would agree with Archie because he was the funnier guy, the lovable guy, and he usually won the argument.
Yeah, and Rob had the beard.
And he was strident.
Yes.
Or maybe we're just racist. It's stunning how Jay Leno outfoxed you again.
Yeah, he's good.
I know. You think, everybody's like, oh, I'm Jay Leno. They do the voice and everything. Meanwhile, he's the shrewdest guy. He outfoxed. You're in good company. He outfoxed Johnny Carson, David Letterman. Every 10 years, some redheaded rube shows up. So that's the phone call you got.
Yeah.
Your agent's like, there's good news and bad news. You are doing the Tonight Show. It's true. But remember that discussion where you said, I'll never have to follow Leno again?
You came over, didn't you?
A little fighting, a little fornicating. What's he, an old pirate all of a sudden?
You notice how I didn't say it's 11?
Hey!
No, because it's 11:30.
It's the Tonight Show now, buddy boy.
That's what I'm trying to point out. It's 11:30.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got more.
Hey, Yoko Ono is not mad about you this week.
Mad about you? Okay, that way I remember.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. She'll be playing a conniving bitch who broke up the Beatles.
All right, hey.
Is she that beloved? It's interesting what you say when you go, like, America's the greatest country in the world or something, because, imagine, you're just saying that on account of you live there, because let's say you hear a guy who goes, hey, man, Kenya, that's the greatest country in the world. You better believe that.
Hey.
Norm's working blue.
No.
Okay, here's a windmill.
Wait, you're not
Norm! Your two options are attack and fly away.
I love you. Let's bump the pit bull.
Not salad tossing.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to return to my former sexual lifestyle.
Well, yeah, what's that?
It's trying to find a lady and convincing her to let me lie down on top of her.
That sounds so romantic, the way you describe it. I want to lie down on top of you and take a nap? What do you...
Well, I'm just saying I'm very simple. I don't need no, I don't need no where they whip your balls or anything.
Okay.
I'll tell you this.
What's that, Norm?
My doctor told me I'm on the same dose that they give to the donkey for the second show in Tijuana.
Okay, now listen.
For the second show, you know?
Why do I continue to have you on? And yet I love it.
No, the second show.
You already started the wrong end. Look, that's the bit there.
All right. Well,
So
okay.
just top and tail it like that. Look, come on, wake up, stand there.
I'm up to 4 segments. Why, you didn't tell me a number of segments?
No.
He wants the edges off, I think. Hey!
Turn it around. Okay.
What?
Come on, no.
You're gonna be tight. He does it and then goes, look what Norm did.
He's going to be nice and tight.
This is not going to air. This will never be seen by anybody. This will never be seen by anybody.
Just concentrate.
We've learned.
Norm, you're making me feel dizzy standing there looking busy. Right, here we go. Okay, come on.
I'll tell you one thing, man. I'm not eating this.
Why are we even having a cooking segment at this point? Why would there even be a cooking segment? Why would we even have a cooking segment with you people?
Here we go.
When did you hit bottom? I said, I don't know. The cool part of it was the girls all get up, right? And all their stories are all the same. Whenever they hit bottom, every story is the same. They're like, when I hit bottom, I a guy for a drink, and you're like, oh. Every guy.
Couldn't we just take them out of the studio for the Norm part and then bring...
Forget about that. I got to do brothers and sisters, I have none. But this man's father, he is my father's son. She goes, I don't know. Who is it? Some cab driver back in New York.
I've been searching for what's missing, but the answer remains.
True, man. One time my buddy was with a hooker, he was telling me.
Wait a minute, you have a hooker story?
Yes.
Here we go.
And he said that he phoned me up once. He was in Vegas, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm with this hooker, but I think she ripped me off, man, because she took the money, right? Oh no, yeah. She said something about like I'm gonna go into the bathroom to get a towel to wipe off your balls or something." He's brilliant, Byron Allen. He had that Comics Unleashed. You ever do that? Oh, you couldn't be more leashed.
There's nothing. It's not like there's nothing unleashed about it. It's not like you would have like Lenny Bruce on and like.
And he has no segue. So this is what he said to John Lovitz one time. He just turned to him from, he's talking to Schimmel, and then he goes to John Lovitz. He goes, "Now, John, I understand you're growing older."
What's your favorite religious movie?
I loved Passion of the Christ.
Did you?
Although I will say I thought it was very anti-Semitic, because every Jew looked like fucking Lovitz. You know what I mean? They were all like, hook noses and stuff. So I could see the anti-Semitism. Remember when you had that show? Do you still have that show at the Laugh Factory?
Yeah, every Tuesday.
I enjoy that show.
Did you ever do that?
Because on Tuesday, for a long time, I would drive by the Laugh Factory and it would say, John Lovitz. So I'd go, I know what not to do on Tuesday. How do you feel about the stand-up comedy of John?
John?
Of John Lovitz.
I mean,
like when a guy starts stand up at 60,
and then like opens his own club to do it. So it's like,
oh yeah, that's right. He opened a club.
Have his own stage time, so nobody can be like.
Have you ever played the Lovitz Club?
No.
God damn, you've avoided everything.
Every comedy landmine. Yeah, I squeaked by.
Norm has a CD. It's called Norm MacDonald. Ridiculous. It's coming out September 12th. It's a comedy CD, of course. And you got some famous people, a.k.a. friends of yours, to do some bits on there with you. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Some of my friends did it. So it was
Will
fun.
Ferrell, correct?
Yeah, the great Will Ferrell was in it. He was kind enough to do it.
Molly Shannon?
Yes, the great Molly Shannon was in it. She was kind enough. Some of this will be repetitious, though.
Is Tim Meadows great, or is he superb?
Tim Meadows is a real talent.
You got John Lovitz on there?
Yeah.
You ever see that guy play softball, by the way? Speaking of baseball and hats, you ever see him hit the ball?
I've seen him do stand-up. He tried starting stand-up when he was 50.
Really? What about those Subway commercials? That's kind of...
Yeah, it's great. He got a catchphrase for the first time in 18 years.
And what's the catchphrase?
Eat fresh.
Oh, eat fresh. And he gets to wear a bathrobe on TV.
Yeah.
I buy Subway sandwiches.
No, he's a really funny guy. He's hysterical.
How long?
Up here? Yeah, no, I listened to that show, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What happened the time you and Norm MacDonald played tennis? There's a story that he showed up in a leather jacket and jeans.
Yeah, I know. I know. He tells that story, and I don't know why he's so into it.
Oh, it's
But
a funny
visual.
visual. It's a funny visual. Him
Well,
dressed like that.
What he left out is that we're playing, and he I play all the time. He never plays, right? But he can get the ball, but he dinks it back, and he has no rhythm. Anyway, when someone just like floats every ball, if you're not used to it, you can't get any rhythm, and it's just hard to play. So he won, but what he left out was after every point, he'd leave the court for like a minute and brag to his assistant about how, look what just happened. Then he'd come back, 1 point, he'd leave again. So I go, Norm, do you want to play? And he just kept leaving. It was very frustrating, and so he won. So then I said to my coach, I go, how do you beat a guy like that? It's so frustrating. The ball's just, and my teacher's guy, Alex Olmedo, who's you're into sports, look him up. He was a champion college player, Wimbledon champion, Rod Laver, Emerson, who won Wimbledon, and he's in the Hall of Fame from Peru. Great guy. So he said, just step in and take it early. And I go, could you beat someone like that? He goes, are you kidding? I'd kill him. So I go, all right, fine. So then we played again, and then I just, I creamed him and I beat him. So also, I wasn't trying as hard the first set because he was, he's not as good, so I'm just taking it easy. But then
And he was wearing jeans and a leather jacket.
Well, he beat you 6-0 the first time, didn't he?
6-0?
No, he wasn't wearing. I don't remember what he was wearing. He didn't beat me 6-0. He's full of crap.
That's what he told him.
So then we played again, and then I beat him quite easily. And he goes, let's play again. I said, no, I don't play you again. Because when I knew he'd want to play after I beat him, the last time we played, I beat him, and that's that.
Give us a good league
but
of
he cheats. He cheats, and he's
course
not
he
fun to play with.
Of course.
So he tells this story,
Right. Give us a good league of their own story. Lovitz! Just back off for a second.
Hey, he's being Lovitz. This is what Lovitz does.
I know. This is what he does. Him and Norm, both of them. Give us a good league of their own story.
What did you play tennis with John Lovitz? What is that?
No, I played tennis with John Lovitz. Goes every day to the Beverly Wilshire and it's an expensive Beverly Hills hotel. I don't know what it's called. But anyways, the guy there, the coach, is Alex Olmedo, who's a Peruvian tennis player from old, and he very good. He played, he beat Ron Laver 3 times.
Right.
And so he's 60 or whatever, but a Peruvian 60.
Does that mean he's a young 60 or
yeah,
an old 60?
No,
He's a young 60.
Yes, sexy.
Peruvian 60, I like that.
Yeah, Peruvian 60. So you could still imagine him with a lady.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my father when he was 60, it would be hard to imagine.
Yeah.
But a Peruvian, you can imagine. You can easily imagine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because my father, he doesn't know. He'd get you a Casio watch to a lady. That would be his thing. But these guys, they're more champagne on your spine, my darling. It's a whole different thing. Anyways,
So he, it has nothing to do with his way with the ladies, the story. But John Lovitz got lessons from him every single day at this hotel.
Yeah.
You know? So then he told me that he was really good at tennis. So I was like, I could beat you.
You just assume you can beat John Lovitz in anything, right?
Yeah. Because I played tennis 4 times.
Yeah.
I figured that's about what it would take to beat John Lovitz. So I said, yeah, I'll play it, you know. And he goes, you'll never beat me. I play everybody. What are you talking about? I go, no, I'll play anything you want. So I go to the place, and I'm in my jeans and a leather jacket. I don't have clothes for tennis. I only played 4 times. So I get there, and they give me a club and everything, and a tennis racket. And I know, clearly, I'm going to beat John Lovitz. So we start playing, and, you know, I just keep tinking them over a little bit, you know, the little backspin, you know, near the net, whatever that shot's called. So Lovitz lumbers over, you know, and he can never get to it, you know. And so I just beat him like 6-0 in the first set. So he starts thinking I'm doing something illegal by tinking it over the net.
The backspin backhand or whatever? Yeah.
He's never seen this. He thinks you're supposed to hit it to him.
Oh.
So so he starts complaining because he's like, I play Alex and I can beat him. He's talking about beating Alex Almeida, the pro, the tennis
60-year-old Peruvian. Yeah.
He thinks. So I said, well, what? He goes, I beat him. I play him every day. You know. And I go, well, Lovitz, this, you know, a tennis pro is one of their big skills is they hit the ball so it will land on your racket.
Right.
You know. So wherever you're standing, the ball is right there. You know.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not true. You know. Then he was convinced that I could beat Alex Almeida. He said, you've never seen anything like this, Alex. He tinks it over the net. So, this is Lovitz. So then I played it, and then he wanted to really win, you know, and he kept playing me, and I said, oh, God. So one day I was like, he was getting so angry and everything, so I let him win 1 game.
Yeah.
And then he quit. He retired.
On top.
Yeah, calling himself the champ.
Like John Elway.
Yeah, exactly. He won 1 game. He goes, doesn't matter. So whoever won last, that's what they do in boxing. And I was saying, well, boxing, they do have to defend them, but whatever.
That's funny.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
One time we were doing a show in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I'm not like him at all. Except if you say to me like, you can't say that or talk about a certain thing or don't say that, I'm like, well, now I have to. It's just kind of your instinct as a comic to bug people, you know.
Right.
Like, don't do that. It really bothers me. And then you're kind of a jerk and they're like, oh, you mean like this? So we were doing a show and I opened for him I did about I guess 15 minutes or 20. Then he headlined, but it was for a what do you call it? When they comp the audience, you know what I mean? For big gamblers, I forget the word.
Yeah.
So there wasn't people paying tickets, but anyway, they did it. We did it. So he's doing the show, and he's very funny, but he's dirty. So all of a sudden, someone yells out, "Well, we don't like that kind of talk." So there's about 400 people there, and he goes, "Well, how many of you don't like that kind of talk?" You know, and it was like practically the whole room. He goes, "Well, how many of you don't mind?" And it was like 20 people. So he goes, or 10 people. He goes, "Well, I'd hate to disappoint those 10 people because the rest of you don't like it." And then he just got dirtier. You know? And I'm just like crying, laughing, you know, because the audience wasn't even laughing, but he just, you know, and that was. You know, that was a typical him. He you know, you take a big risk when you do that. I mean, he did that at the casino. We were banned I couldn't work there for 5 years.
Really? Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
He got banned from that casino in Biloxi, Mississippi? For 5 years?
And he was gambling, and he got caught counting cards.
Oh, there's that, too.
Well, I mean.
So the combo.
You know, what's still funny is Cleese.
Oh my gosh.
Hysterically
yeah.
funny.
No.
Eric Idle, not so much, but boy, Cleese. He did a sketch when I was on, Cleese and Palin. It was funny, between dress and air, they went to the museum.
Wow.
They're so smart, you know. Everybody else is hanging out. So, anyways, they did the parrot sketch and another sketch. So I'm running down to see him, you know, you can see him live in dress, you know. I mean, not dress,
yeah, I think because people either didn't know it or they knew it so well, it was like, cool, oh, they're doing it. I remember Lauren introduced me to Michael Palin once, and I felt, it was like the Bill Murray experience, where I'm like, everything I do is just like, you're, like, I saw you at 7, you know, like, what do you say? And I was just like, hi.
Michael Palin, please don't applaud, we're short on time. Thank you. And I'm John Cleese.
One of my ex-wives died, you know, that it was very sad because it was the wrong one.
I tell you, until I met my wife, I always felt incomplete. Now I'm finished. My mother will be in a car and we'll be driving, she'll go, Ralph's! She'll just read words on building.
I'm 79.
Yeah. You're 79?
I don't look it, do I?
No, because my mother's 79 and...
She looks old.
Maybe that's the way it is with ladies and men.
I'm 79.
Yeah. You're 79?
I don't look it, do I?
No, because my mother's 79 and...
She looks old.
Maybe that's the way it is with ladies and men.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis were better anyway.
I had a moment of inspiration, and I'm telling you, Conan, it was the high point of my creativity, because she was, you know, she's probably about 92, and it's not very much fun being 92, I think, because, you know, all the people at the home are dying around you like flies, you know, you're just sort of chatting to someone, and then you go up and get your custard and come back, and he's dead. I rang her up one day, and she was quite seriously, really giving me all the reasons that she didn't want to go on living. And, you know, I felt helpless. I thought, what can I do? And I had this moment of inspiration. I said, Mum, I have an idea. And she said, oh, what is that? And I said, look, if you're still feeling this way next week, I have a friend in Fulham, and I could give him a call if you like, but only if you like. And he could come down and kill you.
You know who did Jackie Gleason?
Brad Garrett.
Brad Garrett played Jackie Gleason.
How did that happen? A super tall guy, but he did it. He was great.
Jackie Gleason, yeah, the tall years or something. I don't know.
I shined up your bowling shoes for you, too. Are you comfy, sweetums? Oh, and by the way...
Aha! Aha! By the way, huh? All right, what's by the way?
I just saw Brad yesterday.
Brad, you were just inducted into the Television Hall of Fame of the National Association for Broadcasting.
Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
Brad Garrett seemed like a long shot. I remember like him, because he's so crazy tall. You'd see him at the Improv and you go, how could he be cast in anything?
Well, he wasn't, you know, we wrote the show based on my life, so it was based on my brother in real life, who really was a cop, a New York City cop, but he was like 5'10", and he had this kind of bitterness, but he, nothing like Brad brought into it.
This is Robert, Ray's brother. Ray's brother?
Listen, Deborah, once again, it's that time of year where I have to ask you to look deep into your hearts and pockets to pledge your continued support for those of us who risk our lives for you.
Yeah, sure, Robert. How much?
Let me finish. Your $20 pledge enables us to upgrade our equipment, fund our community outreach program, and provide our canine division with crunchy treats. Thank you.
No, Brad, they were casting, you know, I was in New York, and they would keep telling me who they think is up for it, and then they say, we found a good choice for the brother, Brad Garrett, and I said, you know, because all I knew him was from Star Search. And he won the first year of Star Search, so I knew of him, and I knew he was this giant...
impressionist.
Yeah. I said, what?
From Hollywood, it's the world's greatest talent competition. It's Star Search. with your host, Ed McMahon. From Los Angeles, Brad Garrett.
And Stu Smiley from HBO said he did this unique take on it, and I saw it, and yeah, it was a lucky. That's it. We didn't write that. That wasn't on the page. That persona.
Yeah.
And he brought that in.
Does he live in Las Vegas?
No, but he has a place there because he has that club.
I saw him there.
Where's it, the Rio?
He's almost like Rickles now.
Oh yeah, and he's got a very young girlfriend. She was 25 when they met, and she's.
My girlfriend is quite a bit younger than me. You know the drill. And we were at a restaurant, and she's young, but she's she's growing. I mean, she's blossoming. This is her summer. And Rickles walks up to the table and looks at her and looks at me and goes, 12? She's 12? And then he says, have you been kidnapped, darling? Have you been kidnapped? Blink if you've been kidnapped. That was a funny encounter.
I feel like you and me, we couldn't be with a young girl. We'd feel too old. And then there's other guys that like young girls.
Well, it's the same theory as Vegas. You just get in and get out. I wouldn't want to stick around, but
there's a passing resemblance, no question.
Yeah. So anyway, when you're in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, the oddest slogan I've ever heard. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, they say. Of course, it's not true. You can't kill a person and leave. They'll follow you across state lines and bring you back, and you'll face a jury of your peers. So I said, what does that mean? What does it mean? Like, what are they getting at, you know? I started ruminating about it. I whittled. I started whittling.
Oh, you whittle?
Yeah, when I ruminate, I whittle.
Whittle and ruminate. Yeah, hand in hand.
And I said, what does that actually mean? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? And it came to me in a sudden. What it means is you can have sex with a prostitute in Las Vegas and she will not tell your wife. They're very discreet in Vegas. They're not like these gossipy small town whores. You know. These blabbermouths down at the beauty parlor with that pale blue thing over their head, whatever that is, go, you're Hank Johnson's husband? By God, I had sex in exchange for cash last night with him. Small world.
Yeah, in exchange for cash. Now, Norm.
I know it's time to close my eyes to old ends, open up to new friends, leave my heart in Berlin, where the tables turning, seeking out the new vibe, running streets at midnight, cities never sleeping. I am in Berlin, Berlin.
But Brad, you know, she's great, and Brad's the first one to tell you. He'll joke about it, you know. He says every time she leaves the house, I got to put out an Amber Alert, you know. And her father was there. She was there this weekend. Her father's younger than us. Her father's
oh
younger.
My God. This guy's young, but
I'm
35.
35,
yeah. Okay. That seems young now to me.
Norm, let me ask you something. Seriously, what do you do for fun? Like, name one thing you do for fun.
For fun?
For fun. Like, I'm going to have some fun tonight
I've got
or today.
nothing to do today. Here's what I'm going to do.
Is it spend money? It's not go
Golf.
shopping. You don't decorate the place. What do you do?
I guess the only thing I do is I like to read sometimes.
You're lying.
I do. That's what I mean. That makes me.
Do you
feel
play video games? Do you play cards? Do you
solitaire?
I read a lot of Mark Twain.
There's only so much Mark Twain, and
not much actually.
Yeah.
I'm reading letters from Hawaii now, something I've never read before. But I read like stuff that I read a lot of literature. And
do you go to movies?
I reread it a lot. No.
Great. Now that you are a author, can you tell us a little bit about your favorite books?
What my favorite books of all time?
Favorite books in general, all time.
My favorite book is Search for Lost Time. My favorite American book is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I love Russian literature, and that's what I read mostly.
So, yeah, you know, just the standard stuff. You know, I don't like Dostoevsky, but I like the actual good writers.
So yeah, my brother still has it. If you see turkey coops going down the road, if you see birds going down the road, most likely came from Tipton, Missouri, those crates.
That's where you're from, Missouri.
Yeah.
Mark Twain country.
2 fathoms here.
Say again now? Is that a Mark Twain quote?
That's what Mark Twain, Mark II. Mark Twain.
Oh, that's
Mark
where the
Twain.
That's where the word Mark Twain came from.
Got it.
On the riverboat.
2 fathoms here.
Yes, sir. You know his real name?
Samuel.
Ellen Claiborne.
No, I don't.
Or something like that, right?
He had it.
He had it.
Sam Clemens.
Samuel Clemens. You ever read any of his work?
Mark Twain?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the United States, it's required reading in grade school.
Well, sir, my son went to a school here in Los Angeles, California. And I don't like when they teach great writers minor work. You know, I have to teach them the best work. Right?
Yeah.
So I went to the teacher and I said, why are you teaching my son Tom Sawyer when Huckleberry Finn,
Life on the Mississippi,
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, drawing dust on the shelf behind you? Oh, it's because it's racist.
Mm-hmm.
It's racist. It's the least racist book ever. It's anti-racist.
Exactly.
Goodness gracious, the ignorance of people.
Well, what happened to the rest of the story? That was it. She said we can't do that, and that's it.
She said the next thing we're going to do is Toni. We're going to study Toni Morrison, and she's rad.
Wow.
This is a private school that I'm paying a lot of money for.
Yeah, I get you.
Now listen, Dennis. Have you heard about this Huckleberry Finn thing?
I heard something about they wanted to take the N-word out, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to bring it up before I forgot, and then we'll get on to my my project.
All right. Do you have any observation on it, any tweak on it, or just the cognizance of the fact that they want to?
No, I feel it's a thorny issue.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't the whole thing.
No.
I thought you were going to go like, well, how so, or something.
Tell us more, Norm. Why don't you do?
I feel it's a thorny issue.
Yeah,
I'll tell
me
you why.
too. Why, Norm?
Well, you got Mark Twain, and you're talking about. I mean, for those of you who don't know, what I'm talking about. They've taken out the N-word, out of many of the books of Huckleberry Finn.
Norm, they've taken out.
And so you got a thorny issue that I think I have a solution to. Do you want to hear it?
Oh man, never anything more.
Well, the thorny issue is this.
Yes.
You don't want to take, Mark Twain, one of the greatest writer ever to brush paper with ink, and change his words, for God's sake. On the other side of the coin, you don't want to have a young African American boy in school, hearing that word out loud and causing him pain. So it's a thorny issue. But I figure it this way. You've read Huckleberry Finn.
You are so splendidly demented. Yeah, I've read it.
You know it's written in the first person by Huckleberry Finn.
Yes, I do.
And you know it includes the N-word.
Yes.
Therefore, you just change Huckleberry Finn to a black kid.
And it's like a rap song at that point, right?
Exactly. Everything's cool.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over if we never got a chance to check break away.
David, on one time, this is a true story, and Dave, you'll attest to this. Bought me a beautiful leather jacket.
Oh, that's right.
Well out of my price range. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm no one to take charity.
You're doing like a Mark Twain one-man show. All alone in the back. He's constantly screwing with you on every level.
Right.
But his word choice is, he was like Mark Twain. He had this folksy, completely out of time. And I don't know if he was born 300 years too late or 300 years too early, but he's talking in a way, no one speaks like that. And you really appreciate the way he says things and his timing.
All right, is Norm back? No, he went to the bathroom. We finally get hold of Norm.
Maybe he's in Minneapolis.
You mean with the Anglo-Nicholas brother, Larry Craig?
Just saying.
All right, well, let's go to our expert on the subject. This is Norm MacDonald.
What?
I kid. I know you're the world's most active hetero.
I'm not. I'm very. As a matter of fact, I'm very asexual.
Why is that? What drove you to that? Is it fear of germs or what?
Just people. Even having a meal with them's hard enough, you know. Let alone all that filthy stuff that goes on afterwards.
So you're literally talking about watching a grilled cheese go into the oral orifice repulses you. You can't even.
I know how about that Larry Craig guy, man. There's nothing to understand about that. I mean, what do you need a psychiatrist for? You know it, and I know it. I mean, if there was co-ed bathrooms, we're heterosexual. If there were co-ed bathrooms,
yeah,
and this kind of stuff was going on, man, I'd be there all the time. Let's not kid ourselves.
All right, I'm not kidding myself, Norm. You've nailed me. Where are you at today, brother? Where are you calling me from?
I'm calling you. I just woke up, and Christian just woke me up.
Ah, Jesus. Why did you do that, Christian? You know Norm needs his sleep.
Christian's becoming the bane of my precious last few moments of life.
What don't we know, my friend? What have you got the Epstein bar or what?
I just mean in the sense that we all only have a precious few moments of life left. I was talking in the broader.
No.
But listen, you know what I think about that Senator Craig thing now is that what I want to know is those codes, man, because, you know, there's these things that happen in life that I think I'm kind of cynical, you know?
Yes.
And then they happen, and I go, man, I didn't know that existed in life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And one was the pit bull thing.
Sure. Who would have thought that people were that monstrous? I agree with you.
Right. But when I talk to people, they go, oh, yeah, that happens. Like, I knew about that, you know? And I go, you did? Like, I never knew that. But not that I compare the two. But I had no idea there was this bathroom thing going on that was so, you know, it wasn't just a small thing because they had a sting operation, they had a code, you know. In the Minneapolis airport, the bathroom was apparently famous.
It's the Tigris and Euphrates of the code tapping.
Exactly. So for you or me, we would just be I can't speak for you, but for me, you would just be a place we quickly run in, you know. These guys, they're going, have you been to the Minneapolis airport bathroom? This place is the hottest joint in town. Talk about your mind-blowing sex.
There's like a velvet rope, like outside Studio 54.
That'd be great. With an old black gentleman allowing you in.
Are you on the list?
Exactly.
You know, my feeling, Norm, is they ought to put in, like Grauman's Chinese Theater, put how wide Craig's footprints were in soft cement in there, so people can come in for photo ops and see how absolutely. Yeah, that's.
I think they should put a list of what the code is, because I don't know codes, you know, and I don't want to do the code by mistake, because a lot of times I'll be listening to my iPod.
Well, you know, the thing about the code is if you don't know it and you miss.
What if I was tapping my toes to listening to my Billy Joe Shaver CD,
right?
And my toe tapped against an old dude's or a dude's police officer, and then he knocked on the thing, and I took off my clothes. I go, what? He goes, what time is it? I go, 7 o'clock. I look at my watch. He goes, are you sure? I go, absolutely. next thing he's clambering under or something. I go, no, I don't know.
Misreading the whole thing.
You need the code at all? Couldn't you, like, if I was doing it, I would just stand in the center of the bathroom thing and just, peer at guys.
I know you give off the wrong vibe. All of a sudden you got Sam Drucker. You know when you go to get your car re-lubed and they lay on that thing that has wheels on it? You look down, you got Sam Drucker coming under the stall into yours. Or if you misdo the code, the Carpathia shows up in an effort to pull people out of the lifeboats.
The anonymous thing to me has always been, because I find it like it would take me probably a year before I was comfortable enough with a person,
Right.
show them my back of my hair on my back. But the anonymous part, like, here's a guy, he's never met a guy ever, in his whole life. And he's in an airport, and he's like, come on in, sir, we don't have much time. I hope you like the place. I was just defecating in it. I didn't want to do that. Anyways, I got an 8:40 to Chicago. I don't have much time to disrobe and get to this filthy thing. I'm going to grab a slice of Sbarro and...
All right, Norman, I got a rock, baby. I'm up against a hard break, as was Larry Craig. This is the Dennis Miller Show.
Craig was arrested for alleged lewd conduct with another man in an airport bathroom. Similar accusations against him materialized.
I go to bathrooms to use bathrooms.
Is this a really good question, Norm? Here's a familiar face for
it's
Blake.
a question from Blake's good friend, Norm. No, Blake, it's fun watching you this year. Wasn't it cool?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, like, there's a kind of a curse with Rookie of the Year. Nobody's ever repeated it.
I didn't think about that. Well, I'll try as hard as I can next year, but...
All right, man.
I don't know. Thank you for that question, though. That's going on top of the goals for next year.
Dennis Rodman was a guest.
Dennis Rodman, right.
And so we thought it'd be funny if he headbutted me, So he headbutted me, but he did it really hard,
Do we have I think actually someone supplied the clip. This is, you're not kidding around. This is a real clip of what happened. Let's show that, Liz.
If you plan to be here next fall doing book reviews, I expect to see a major attitude adjustment. And while you're at it, a more conventional hairstyle and some clothes, for God's sakes. You're going to have to learn that there is such a thing as rules, Dennis Rodman. Rules. Do you understand that?
Sure. I understand.
Well, good.
That's the way it is. Good night and have a good weekend.
Wait a minute. It did look like he, You hear that dull thud of like skull on skull.
Yeah,
It really...
Yeah, and I don't have like a strong head. I haven't been working it out lately.
Really?
But he has like an athlete's head, But no, beforehand he said, I said, hey, don't hit me with your head, or no, don't really hit me. And he goes, no, Al. He goes, he had this thing where he was going to put his thumbs, and as soon as he touched my thumbs, I go back, and then he got all excited and headbutted me. So
So did you feel him pull the thumbs back, and then real head was coming in at you?
And so I blacked out for a minute, and then the next day I had this huge headache, so I thought I was going to die, And so I went to the hospital. I went to I don't want to say the hospital, but I went to this hospital and to emergency, and they're all they're the craziest guys in emergency. All crack. Everybody's on crack, Every emergency is a guy on crack.
Yeah.
So I went in and they go hey, how much crack do you have, And I go, I'm not on crack. And they go, what happened? I go, Dennis Rodman headbutted me. On the TV. He headbutted me on the TV. So they go, yeah. Right.
How much crack,
Yeah.
So what happened? Anything wrong?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They said, like, you can't tell. They said, like, the only way you can tell is if later on, if you go to sleep and you don't wake up. Yeah.
That's why you didn't mention the name of the hospital.
Yeah, I don't want to mention it. I didn't know this, too. If you go to emergency, you got to pay. They keep sending me bills, like all kinds of bills.
You thought it was free, that you could just go there and...
Yeah. I'm from Canada. It's all free there.
Oh, okay.
Good. Now, you were going to bring your son, your boy.
Oh, my son was so excited to come. You know, he knows nothing about entertainment or show business because, you know.
Yeah.
And,
I guess.
but he loves sports, you know. He's a basketball fanatic. He loves it. A beautiful little 10-year-old boy I have. And he was very excited because Charles Barkley.
Charles was supposed to be here.
Yeah. And apparently he was afraid to fly in with the fire.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I had to phone him at his school today, and he had all his Charles Barkley cards, you know, and everything. He collects them, and he was so excited. And I said, "Oh, Charles not going to be here," you know, and he was sad. And then,
well, we tried to get Karl Malone.
I know. And then you guys phoned. You said, "Hey, Karl Malone's going to be here." So then I phoned him back at school. I said, "Hey, Dill, guess what? Karl Malone's going to be here." And he was really excited, you know, because he has all his cards too, and he loves Karl Malone. Yeah. So he was real excited. And then Karl Malone's not coming.
No.
So then they phoned me. They go, "It's going to be Jillian Barberie." Yeah. So I phoned my boy, and I got, you know, he's in school. I said, "Hey, Charles Barkley's not going to be here, and Karl Malone's not going to be here, but Jillian Barberie is going to be here." And then he said, "Is she a point guard for the Warriors or something?" And I said, "No, she's a lady."
Yeah. You know, when he gets older, I think he'll appreciate her more.
Yeah.
As you get older.
Hey, Alexei. So you're the guy that made Tyra look like a fat lady, right?
Sure am.
Excellent. Okay, well, make me look like that guy.
You got it.
Yeah. You work the face, I'll work the body. Oh. That's not Blake Griffin-y enough. Come on, man. More Blake Griffin-y. Now I'm going to find out what it's like to be Blake Griffin. First, I'm going to fool his teammates. Stupid door. I'm Blake Griffin, and you are?
Your good friend and teammate, DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, my good friend DeAndre Jordan, of course. So what time's rehearsal?
You mean practice, right?
Yeah, practice.
What's up with your voice?
What's up with your voice? I'm open. Ow! Not so hard, man.
All right.
Hit me. Sky hook.
Are you all right? Blake, we haven't started.
I gotta quit smoking.
Smoking? What's up with you today, man?
Still got my defense.
Blake, that's a foul. You can't slap me.
Says who? I got an idea. This always works.
Just jump up there and get it.
No. Yeah. Whew. Oh! Jeez! I don't know what's going on here. My heart is beating so fast.
Are you all right?
I think I pulled a part of my leg. That's
underneath the top part. Ah, sweet Cordy Howe. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Sorry I'm late. Somebody burned my house down.
Oh no, I gotta start working out. Stupid door. Oh, I just got this memo from the network. It says they're happy with the show's format, but they just have one note. It looks like from now on they want us to be a Western? Up yonder in the Pawnee Ridge, it's the Youngers gang.
I don't take kindly to ambushes. No cat's sidewinders, yellow-bellied varmints.
That was a smart chunk of shooting there, Tiny.
I'm just happy we got Miss Juanita's money back.
Hell, what kind of wicked critter would steal the life savings off a dance hall girl?
Marshal, behind you! Ah! Dang!
Hell's bells, I've been bit in the posterior.
What do we do now?
Well, you go see Princess Big Medicine at the Indian Village. Hell, she knows all the cures better than any doctor.
Princess, ma'am, the marshal has been bit by some serpent.
You must suck out the poison with your mouth. This is the only way. Now go. Go with the wind.
Tiny, you're back. What did Princess Big Valley say?
Oh, man, she said,
Well, what did she say?
She said you're gonna die.
Well, at least I got my boots on. That's the most a cowboy can ask for.
What in tarnation?
Hey, the network says they have a memo for you.
Says here, we didn't say Western. We said we wanted more about the Western Conference Finals. What a damn fool misunderstanding.
Okay, that's it?
It's a wrap.
Taz, we out of here.
All right.
See you later.
I guess I'll have to get me some of them fancy reading glasses.
Any last request before we shoot both you?
Well, I'd sure like to hear some country music. Twangier the better.
Okay, we can do that. How about you?
Yeah, shoot me first.
I know him since I'm a beginner. And my first comedy club gig ever is in Catch a Rising Star, Princeton. And Norm MacDonald, this is 1990 or 91. Norm's done a few local talk shows in America, small time, but he hasn't made it in America. He's kind of got a little following, and it's a big gig for me. And I'm hosting Norm shows, and this is when Andrew Dice Clay was the #1 comic in the world. And Norm was so different than that.
Yes. Yeah.
But comedy was hot, so the club was packed every night. And Norm had this weird accent, and his jokes were long, and they were often absurd, and but here's Norm, this goofy Canadian accent, really telling these long, weird bits for 8 shows. And he probably bombed 3 out of 8 shows. whenever he killed, he would kill. When it was a sophisticated crowd, he would get him and he would kill. He would just go backstage, he'd pull out a deck of cards, and he'd make me and Rich Voss play poker with him. When he bombed, inexplicably, he would go to the exit and say goodbye to every single person. I think to entertain me. I don't know if he just loved the awkwardness of it, or he was always one step ahead of me, one step ahead of his fans, the industry. He was such a nut.
I love that. That's a committed person. But that's what I loved about him.
He was just grasping fame and figuring out how to be to be different.
And also one of the nicest, most genuine, authentic people.
Paradise with your body, I don't wanna share. We're making dynamite, explosive love intentions building in the air. Yeah. So baby, baby.
And they go, coming up when because Norm started in Canada, he's Canadian.
Yeah.
They go, whenever he killed in these early years, working a weekend at Yuck Yucks or something.
Yeah.
When the show was over, he'd just hide, or he'd just go in the green room and sit there. But if he bombed, which Norm is the kind of comic who, like every other show,
yeah,
because he literally he just didn't care. When he bombed, which was like semi-regularly, he would wait in the hallway to shake audience members' hands, so that they had to see him again. So they're leaving. He's like, "How you doing? Hi."
That is the most gangster move.
Yeah, it totally is. But if he's like, if I kill, I don't want to do that.
There's a guy will come on TV, go, hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you like yellow? And I go, yeah, of course I like yellow. He goes, yeah, well, so is this guy. And they show a guy, he's waving, pointing at someone that doesn't exist, wearing a yellow shirt, And then I go, Ruth, get out here, goddamn. Here's a guy on the TV that's speaking for me finally, Ruth. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm glad I got my wife, Ruth. She's all right, She watched a lot of TV. She got her guilty pleasures, and her guilty pleasure is watching Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if you've ever seen that. My guilty pleasure is finding elderly gentlemen and shooting them in the leg. That's just a joke. That is a joke. I felt it was time I tell a joke, and I think it may be in my contract. Anyways, my wife, man, she ain't the brightest girl, Ruth. We have what's called a hall pass. You know what that is? A hall pass? That means you're allowed to have sex with any two people that you would like to have sex with, because they're special. So I chose, and the other partner has to agree to it. So I chose on my hall pass Angelina Jolie and Christy Brinkley. And Ruth, my wife, she's so stupid that you know who she chose? The Mexican guy that mows my lawn and his brother. Of all the people in the world. All the people in the world. But I love women, I consider women to be superior to men, and I'll tell you why. They create life. Think about that. You know what I mean? What do men do? Maybe they eat sour cream and onion chips or something. Women create life, for God's sakes. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? If I was a woman, that's all I do, just create life. I go to parties and go, hey, Fred, what do you do? I can't remember. And Fred would go, I'll tell you what I do, Loretta. That's my name in the story. He'd go, I tell you what I do, Loretta. I think I work down at the bank for Mr. Abernathy. And what my main job is, Abernathy will give me a stack of papers about this big. And by the end of the day, if I get them down to about this big, well, that's a good, I go, wait a second there. I'm sorry. I got to stop you there. Remember I was telling you how I create life, human life, the highest form of life? I just got to tell you this. That life just kicked me.
Can you possibly wrap your head around that? And they'll go, huh? Well, look, Abernathy's never given me that corner office like he promised. And there was plenty of lunches where he brought it up. But then Henderson showed up, and that all changed. Who am I kidding? I should just quit. Anyways, what have we learned from this little fable?
That lady I saw you with last night.
It's rude.
Bit of a hippo. I read about a hippo swallowing a man, and I thought of you. No, you remember Ruth? You remember Ruth? His girlfriend is a wonderful kitchen butt. Remember Ruth?
Yeah.
Dr. Ruth?
Nah, he went out with this big fat hog named Ruth. And listen, it's not sexist in any way. It's not sexist.
No,
The whole family. The whole family.
Ruth's family?
Oh my God! They may as well live in a sty.
Okay.
Because not only, they were obese, the whole family.
I mean, it's just rude.
No, I know. I mean, I'm not saying that her. Listen, people have girth issues.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was inherent. I mean, it was just.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be.
Girth issue.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it was a genes issue. I mean, I don't think she could really help it.
Oh yeah, no, it was all genetic.
Her genes were not flattering.
Her genes caused her to buy a lot of fucking pastry. I'll tell you that. But they were filthy. Like
pigs.
Like pigs, they would eat, and then the food would fall on them. That's father. I remember, like his gut was way up. And you know and the skinny arms like a
he would just
pterodactyl.
Eat off of his own gut
all the time. Yeah. And then a big fat Ruth there with this fucking guy. And she'd always sit on his knee. Whatever. I don't even want to get it. No, but she was a nice lady, you know.
Yeah, really nice lady.
But spiteful.
Really? She
Spiteful?
sounds great.
Yeah.
She was nice. She was nice, but she was horribly spiteful and horribly obese.
Yeah, she was mostly known for her spite. Like, if you got to know her. Yeah.
You have to be really spiteful to have that beard.
Absolutely. I knew her for 3 months. I didn't even see a fat person anymore.
Just pure spite.
Spite.
That's a compliment to some fat people.
One time I tried to drive around her and I ran out of gas. I don't want to say she was spiteful, but
she could be watching, man.
I don't want to say she was spiteful, but one time she got on the scale and said, please, one at a time. I mean, this lady was spiteful. One time, she was so spiteful, she was swimming in the ocean. A helicopter fucking radioed down for landing instructions. I mean, she was a little spiteful.
Now it's just a euphemism.
God bless Ruth. God bless Ruth. She was named after the biblical figure Ruth. You know the book of Ruth?
No, but every time you talk about Ruth, you always refer to the chapter of Jonah.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
The whale.
Yeah, that's my little joke. And it's not a whale, it's a big fish. What is a mammal? What's a seal?
It's not mutually exclusive. I mean, you can be a
seal
whale
has to
and
breathe air, right? How does it get up? How do they get up on those buoys?
It's a shimmy.
They're shimmy. They must be just pure muscle, the way Ruth's pure spite.
Yeah.
All right.
Pure blubber.
Okay, you know.
No, what?
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
You know, the whole thing is a complete waste of everyone's time, and it's joyous.
Right.
Because
he's reveling in it.
He's reveling in every second of it.
This wife Ruth he keeps speaking of.
Nothing's real.
Yeah,
There's
Agnes at the desk.
Yeah.
How many Polish guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? The question cannot be answered because Polish people are so fucking stupid that no matter how many of them are available, none of them would ever be able to complete that simple task.
This is a meta joke. Have you aware of these meta jokes?
How many comedians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
2. One to do it, and the other guy to go, how long's he been up there?
I like that.
On stage.
Yeah, because they was going,
how long? How long?
Oh, that's a good one. I was going to say that the Polish government did actually try to land on the sun back in the
No, they didn't.
Yes, and they were ridiculed for it because they said you'll burn up when you come anywhere near. They said we're going at night.
Who?
Now,
Well, no, I've never asked you this before, and we've been good friends for many years. Okay, I made that up, but
no. We haven't?
No, we're friends. We're good friends, but I don't know what your. MacDonald. Is that Irish? Is that Scottish? What's your ethnic background?
My ethnic background is Polish.
Are you really Polish? Wow.
Polish people
I didn't
have.
realize that.
Yeah.
MacDonald, you don't.
Well, my parents changed their names. They had to because of the constant ribbing they'd get for being Polish, you know. And so they changed their name to MacDonald. But it's one of the things that I mean, I get a little upset about it, because
all
you
the
can't.
Polish jokes. And
Yeah,
stuff.
you can't make jokes about other people, but for some reason you make jokes about Polish people,
Right.
I don't like it.
Right. You shouldn't. That sounds bad. Yeah.
I mean, I had an experience, I go in and I order a Polish sausage, from this guy, and so the guy says to me, you must be Polish. And I said, come on, man. I mean, come on. Think about it, what you're saying. I'm trying to knock some sense into this fellow's head, maybe give him a wider world view,
Sure, yeah.
I said, you think because I order a Polish sausage, I'm Polish. I said, what if somebody came in here and ordered French toast? Would you think he was French,
Right.
I mean, what if somebody came in here and ordered a Belgian waffle? Would you consider that guy a Belgian? I mean, if a guy came in and ordered a German bratwurst, would you consider that fella to be a German fella?
Right.
I said, what if a guy came in and ordered German potato salad? I suppose you'd think he was German too. Yeah?
Yeah.
What if a guy...
Wow, you talked to this guy for a while.
I'm telling you, man. With racists, you have to get through
You have to
them.
really get it into their head. Right.
I said, if a guy came in and he ordered a Cuban hamburger, are you going to assume he's a Cuban?
Right.
I said, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that just because I come in here, I order a Polish sausage, why would you jump to the fact that I'm Polish?
Right.
And the guy says to me, well, first of all, it's a hardware store.
And you hate Polish jokes, don't you? You just hate them.
No, I think they're disgusting.
I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go. I'm scared of letting go of everything in the past.
You know what I was way ahead on? Slut shaming. I was always against that. I remember telling the fellas in high school, I go, guys, I think we're making a big mistake by shaming the sluts. You see, here's what is my concern. I feel if we shame them too much, they might stop becoming sluts, and further ladies might not want to be sluts either. I have a different idea. Other than shaming the sluts, it's a bold idea. I say we take the sluts and we put them on our shoulders and we go, oh, hail the slut. Oh, for she's a jolly good slut, that kind of thing, So I was way ahead of it, man, way ahead of it. But anyway.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over. If we
Farrah, the first time I ever saw you, I thought, oh my God, that is one of the horiest looking whores I have ever seen in my life. And I have seen a lot of whores because I'm a rock star. And, I've seen ladies like in the front row look at me with a super hoary look on their face. And you look horier than all of them. And that really means something.
I think you started out as a writer for Roseanne, which many people consider probably the best sitcom pre-Seinfeld or of the 90s, the best traditional sitcom of the 90s. And you were a writer on that show for a bunch of years, right?
Yeah. I started with stand-up, and then Roseanne signed me to stand-up and hired me. That was my first job. actual show business.
And what was it? What was that like? I mean, again, every stand-up comic hopes to get discovered or like hopes to get his first job or whatever. I mean, were you like literally? You had no other experience before writing for Roseanne other than stand-up on like one of the hugest shows of the 90s?
No, I had none, and really, it was only because Roseanne liked stand-up that I got the job. Like, I don't think I ever would have got it traditionally. And then when I was on the show, it was cool because it was just me and one other stand-up, and Roseanne only liked us because she hated like Harvard writers, and she hated like that snobby kind of what she perceived as snobby.
Right.
And she really loved stand-up, so she was very hard on the writers, except for me and this other guy.
And she was notorious for like basically saying, "This is my show, ABC. Do not come down here and you higher ups and try to tell me how it's going to be. It's my show." And she did control everything, and to her credit, she did, because I mean the whole first.
Yeah,
it was great.
Fascinating because the writers every week would complain because Roseanne would want everything changed, and then the show would be great, and then they'd complain again. Like they never understood that she actually realized more what the show was than they did.
Right.
And her big thing was there's too many jokes. That was always her thing. Like, what's with all these jokes? Like, and so she like kill all the pad or all the one-liners, and the writers didn't like that because it's sort of an easy way to write. You just pepper a bunch of little jokes in there.
Right, like Night Court.
She was more into character, and she called it like an anti-sitcom.
Yeah, and relationships, and that's why that show was so brilliant, because of the relationships between her and her kids, and the relationship between her and Dan. I mean, are there any particular episodes that you can remember writing that stand out, that said, "Oh, that's Norm Macdonald's"? Like Conan O'Brien always says about The Simpsons. Oh, the monorail episode is the one I wrote. Was there a Roseanne one that stood out to you?
Yeah, there was one that kind of broke my heart because a girl won an Emmy for writing it, even though I wrote it.
Oh, no.
And the way it works in show business and TV writing is it's just one person can write the episode. So even though I was my complete notion, this other girl wrote it, but it was based on my mother talking to my grandmother, and the episode was Roseanne's mother dies, and she has to explain it, or her father dies rather, and she has to explain it to her mother, and her mother can't hear her on the phone, because she's got bad hearing.
Right.
So it actually happened with my mother. So she's trying to tell. She starts off sad, but she ends up like screaming into the phone, so that her mother can hear it.
Oh no! And that actually happened to you.
That actually happened to me, yeah. And then I had to watch this girl win an Emmy for writing.
Oh man! Go up there and accept it. Did she even thank you, or did she mention you in the acceptance speech?
No, that would be giving it up.
Oh no! Well, that sucks.
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love. Yeah, you free my mind.
I have some bad news. Dad is not with us anymore. I said Dad has passed away. He's passed away. Dad is gone. Dad's dead. He's dead. No, Dad. Dad. He's fine. He sends his love. Bye.
You just reminded me, and of course everyone's been thinking about him a lot lately, Norm Macdonald. But one of the reason I bring up Norm is Norm, you were describing everybody was following the same rules as a talk show host, which is, okay, you've got to come on, you've got to come up with 3 or 4 stories, they've got to have a beginning, middle, and end payoff. It's got to be something that really happened to you. Norm was this Picasso who decided the eyes don't have to be where the eyes really are, the nose doesn't have to be. He blew it all up, and he would tell stories that were completely fake. I know. They were 100 years old. They were corny jokes, and he would just tell them like they happened to him.
I'm from a little town. It's called Monkland, and it's only 108 people.
108. That's small.
It's country. You know, it's really rural. And but man, I'll tell you, there's lots of funny stories from there.
And I remember the first time he did that, me talking to him and thinking, okay, well, he's got these different, you know, I don't know what we're going to talk about here. And he'd come out and he'd go like, hey, how's it going? And I'd be like, oh, Norm, what's going on with you? I bought a farm. I'm like, what, you bought a farm? He's like, yeah, I bought a farm. I got 3 daughters, each prettier than the next.
There was a guy, man, he lived down the road. His name was John Neil Mergerison. And this guy, I went to him once. I've been away for a couple of years, you know. I moved to the city, you know, and I came back. And I said, John Neil, how you doing? You know, I went to his what do you got, farm? And
yeah, that thing, yeah.
So he's showing me his pigs. He had a bunch of pigs there, you know. He had a bunch of pigs, a bunch of them. And one of the pigs had a wooden leg, you know.
And Andy would be sitting there, and Andy's from the Midwest. He'd be like, wait a minute, I know this joke. This is a joke my grandfather told me. And he'd be like, my grandfather told me.
He says he's mature, and I think it's because he's telling my grandfather's jokes.
Stop it, both of you.
One has a peg leg, the other has an eye patch, and the third one, she had a wheelbarrow. And it's just a joke. And he would do it,
dresses it
and
up
he
as a
would
story.
dress it all up, and I would think, you asshole. That's the most genius thing in the world, because who really wants to hear what a celebrity, you know, we're all like, well, there is that funny time that I overtipped a little bit, I'll tell that story.
Yeah.
And he was like, no one wants to hear that.
No.
They want to hear a joke from 1911.
He was like the gold. Watching him on your show was the gold standard of, and he was one of those guys. I didn't know Norm at all. I wish I'd never met him. But I would hear all these great stories. I remember watching him on your show once years ago. It was the dumbest bit, where he was doing something and he made some terrible joke and you went, what? And Andy went, what? And he goes, oh, listen to this guy. He's been downloading male porn all day. and then, like, apropos of nothing, and Andy's like, what?
Mr. Roper. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Roper?
Yeah.
That's not a good hero.
That's all I got.
Better than this guy's hero is some gay porn actor. But anyway.
What are you talking about? What?
I don't know.
What are you saying?
Let me tell you something about gay porn. Seriously. That doesn't mean a guy's gay. I'm not saying that. Because a guy watches gay porn all the time.
You cut to a single. Just of Norm, really?
Gay porn. I enjoy gay porn. I'm not gay. Gay porn is a genre that just cuts across all demographics. You know? Young people, old people, straight people, the gay people enjoy it. Everybody likes gay porn. But this guy really likes it. Now they had to bring it back this week, so they had a compromise. They're allowing one porno magazine.
Only one? Huh?
Only one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the porno magazine that they're putting in is Hairy Guy's Ass Illustrated.
Really? Yeah. Well, if you're going to only allow one, I would think that's the one, you know, probably.
It's a good magazine, though.
It is a good, you know.
It's not all just pictures of Hairy Guy's ass.
The articles are good. All right.
See, I just read it for Hairy Guy's ass.
Well, see, that's you, Andy. Just people are all different.
He was telling me before the show the last week he went to the Hairy Guy's Ass Mansion.
Great.
Why didn't you? Andy has all the fun. He gets to all the big celebrity parties.
Right. Him and Jimmy Kahn.
This is one I heard recently, because since when he passed away, you heard all these stories from all these people, but Norm liked to bet. You know, Norm liked to gamble, and he liked to bet, and he borrowed $200 from someone. And I said, oh. And then the person kept coming up to him and saying, hey, can I get that $200? And he's like, I don't know. and in that Norm way, kind of getting out of the room and shambling away in all angles and elbows. And the guy kept asking for it, and the guy went, "Hey, come on, man, that means a lot to me. I had $200. I want my $200." Hey, you lost $200. I lost $5,000. Leave me alone. He just got yelled at the guy. You think you got problems? I got bigger problems.
What was the most you ever bet on an event?
$400,000.
Who was it on?
Atlanta Falcons against the Denver Broncos, 1990.
What's amazing is people don't realize is that Norm at the time in the 90s when the OJ trial was going on.
Well, let's be clear, we're not cheering the OJ murder.
Yeah.
Let's just be we're cheering Norm's heroic comedic response to that terrible event.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're on record having said that.
Yeah.
And so he's on the show, and at the time the guy who was running NBC really evidently was friends with OJ and wanted Norm to stop. So I think maybe a bunch of people here might be too young to appreciate how much Norm's boss was telling him to stop making jokes about OJ, and he was told, you gotta stop. And that weekend Norm comes out and he goes, he's on Weekend Update. He says, it turns out the Los Angeles Police Department admitted today that they had planned to frame O.J. Simpson for those murders until they got to the crime scene, and it turned out he did it.
A shocking new development in the O.J. Simpson case. Late this afternoon, a high-ranking official in the Los Angeles Police Department admitted to Geraldo Rivera that the police did conspire to frame O.J. Simpson for the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. However, they called the conspiracy off when they got to the murder scene and found that O.J. really did do it. While in England, where he spoke at Oxford University,
Why you going high? Push me to the side. Let's keep going on and I ain't getting tired. Yeah, you try to crucify all the good inside. You going come now.
Double down. Yeah, and then he would stare at the camera.
Yeah.
He would stare at the camera and hold, which is this incredible middle finger in comedy.
Incredible.
Turns out he did it. And he would stare at the camera, and even if the crowd wasn't laughing, he would stare at them like, you heard what I said.
Yeah. And his job was on the line.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a point that I try to make again and again and again, is that there are a lot of people who talk about being brave in comedy and bravery, and I think, no. The risks of falling off a Segway. But no, it's rare. It doesn't happen that often, but Norm is one of those people, and it doesn't happen that often. People that their careers are hurt by the chances they're taking. Their careers he would do things that would get in the way of him advancing in show business. Whether it was his stint on the ESPYs or what he did at SNL, he would do things that would impede him from moving up the ladder. And there are a lot of people that don't take any risks and then get credit for being brave. And that's where you lose me, Will. You know?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, you're talking about me?
No, the different Will.
You're talking about Ferrell.
I'm talking about Will Ferrell. Yeah. Man, Ferrell.
He's the worst.
He's the worst guy.
He's such a monster.
I knew this guy wrote for Three's Company. And he said, they'd always have beautiful girls. Remember that show?
Yeah, I love Three's Company.
So they'd have extras, and so they'd call them the bimbo of the week, and they'd take them out to the smokehouse. But John Ritter, he wasn't like a Lothario or anything, but you know who was?
Furley?
Furley. You got it.
Of course.
Mr. Furley. So he says his big line would be, he'd say to girls, he'd go like this, he'd go, I'm married, but it's not going well.
Oh my God.
And then he'd put booze in when they weren't looking, like comically, when they weren't looking away, he'd put booze into their booze.
Oh my gosh.
And then, but he'd
That'd be amazing to see
go to a
that.
hotel in Burbank and have sex with them. And then one time the hotel owner asked, he had a big 8x10 he wanted to sign, so Don Knotts had to go to another hotel.
Oh my God.
It's not going well.
Not going well. Jesus. Mr. Furley,
You ever
imagine
read
that fucking wake up the next morning. You're some fucking saucy bimbo, fucking
the ultimate
21 years old.
You're expecting Richard Klein at least.
Anybody, yeah.
Very least.
Jesus. Anybody.
Who's the
Susan
who's the-
Sarandon.
Mr. Furley, relax. Just take it. Oh my God, he's hyperventilating. Give him there. Give him there. Just relax, Mr. Furley. Take some air in. Take some air. Mr. Furley, come on. Mr. Furley, relax. No, don't hyperventilate. Breathe. Breathe. Mr. Furley, get some air in. Breathe. Okay? Okay, now, Mr. Furley, listen to me carefully. Well, thank you for helping me. He's had a relapse.
I'm told by Nick Swartzen that he's come up with a new impression for his act, known for his impressions. What is it again?
This is Mr. Furley talking to the 20-year-old girl he just woke up next to. Or no, he's in the middle of sex with her. I'm coming in your butt!
Oh my God. Well, listen, man. Hey,
your mouth is my toilet!
I need your love.